It is Championship Thursday. Look at the Unidome. They have made their way from western Iowa, from north central Iowa, all over the state, and we are happy to have you from wherever you may be around the world watching us today inside the Unidome as we get ready for the 8-player championship. It's a new era of sports coverage here at Iowa PBS. Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Yeager, welcoming you to the Iowa High School Athletic Association's Football Championships. Here we go. Over the next 2 days, we're going to bring you 7 classes of exciting high school football for free. We are just minutes away from our first championship as the two teams take the field right now. Behind me, let's tell you how Bishop Garrigan and Woodbine made it to the championships in the 8-player class. Early on, it was Gladbrook, Rhinebeck, and Woodbine. That's Trevor Mathern on an 18-yard pass to Trayvon Heron. And then it's Brody Pryor to Micah Moores. Moores does the rest, 41-yard sprint to the end zone. Tigers are cooking. Then Heron steps in front of the pass, goes 32 yards the other way. We're tied at 30. And then Pryor, an incredible catch by Landon Bloom. The huge recruit ices it away, 38-30 for Woodbine. And Audubon and Garrigan. Audubon's Aiden Kiergaard, 44 yards down the sideline. He was at state track in the distance met. He really ran. And how about a really good throw from Tate Furch? 9-yard pass, or a pass to Michael Joyce for 38. And then it's a 72-yard touchdown return on a kickoff by Jorgen Nowatzki. And then Furch is going to seal it for the Bishop Golden Bears from Garrigan. And that is how they win, 60-36. And we have a lot of things we're going to show you, and one of them is the national anthem, which is now on our floor and field here at the Unidome.
We do ask that you please rise as able. Remove your hats and direct your attention towards the flag in the south end of the Unidome as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Rylan is a sophomore at Cascade. Under the direction of Kayla Brokaw, she is the daughter of Tim and Stephanie Smith and is involved in various activities at Cascade, including choir, jazz choir, band, volleyball, swim, drama, speech, and FFCLA. She has participated in numerous honor choirs, honor bands, auditioned for the Iowa All-State Choir, and performed the national anthem at the 2025 State Wrestling Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Rylan Smith with the singing of our national anthem. Cascade sophomore Rylan Smith.
All right, we've done all the formalities. We have the two teams on the field. There's Woodbine and Bishop Garrigan. It's the state finals in 8-player. We'll be right back in a moment. Trevor Mater and Tom Peterson will join us. They have the call coming up next on Iowa PBS. Funding provided by
Banking in Iowa goes beyond transactions. Banks work to help people and small businesses succeed. And Iowa banks are committed to building confident banking relationships. Iowa Banks, your partner through it all.
And by Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.
Good morning from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, an estate synonymous with the Field of Dreams. Over the next 2 days, this place will be the Dome of Dreams. We start 8-player championship action here today. Woodbine and Bishop Garrigan going to collide for the state title. Trevor Mater alongside Tom Peterson. And Tom, after a season-long journey to get here, one of these teams is going to hoist the big trophy tonight.
Yeah, you know, preseason 1 and 2, Trevor, and then you look at the first rankings that came out September 29th on week 5 with Bishop Garrigan #1 and Woodbine #2. What a great opportunity for these young men to get to compete for a championship, and this is where you want to finish your season.
Woodbine going for their first ever state title. This is a team that was really good last year, made that leap this year, and they are hoping to get that state title. Bishop Garrigan going for their second in 3 years, and you see the impact players on your screen. A couple of young men that if their team is to win today, a lot of it probably going to revolve around them.
Yeah, Ethan Marceau last week was just an absolute beast running the football. They rode him the entire game. But, you know, they also got the dynamic quarterback in Tate Furch, who's a dual threat guy. But then on the opposite side with Woodbine, you've got Landon Bloom, #1 prospect in the state of Iowa in 2027. He was electric last week. So what an exciting time here to be able to be with you up here in the booth and get to call this game.
It is almost go time here in Cedar Falls. Woodbine won the toss. They elected to defer. So that means it'll be Bishop Garrigan football to get things started. Bishop Garrigan, we mentioned top 2 teams in the state rankings all year. Bishop Garrigan 12-0, Woodbine 11-0, ranked #2, right behind Garrigan. And we are off and running in this 8-player state championship game, the first of 7 this week. Michael Joyce on the return along the sideline. And that now we'll get to see this Garrigan offense go to work for the first time today under the guidance of quarterback Tate Furch. And Tom, as we get rolling here, taking a look at our keys to the game, what are they on both sides?
Well, for Bishop Garrigan, obviously you can see they want to make sure that they limit Woodbine's playmakers, but they also want to control the line of scrimmage. For Woodbine, they got to make Bishop defend the entire football field and let their big guys up front do the job.
So first down for Garrigan. They'll start this drive, start this game at their own 20-yard line. Birch will put it in the belly of Marceau, and Marceau plugs forward for about a yard or 2. And Ethan Marceau is, I think, he's a bruiser. I think it's the best way to put his playing style.
Yeah, and they're going to ride him all game long. You know, last week, I think he only averaged 3.5 yards per carry, but they had 53 rushes last week. And if they can get 3 yards, 2 yards, he's usually falling forward. They're going to be very happy with that.
So now second down coming up for Garrigan here early on in this 8-player state championship game. They put a man in motion, and they give left side Michael Joyce up to the 28-yard line, just shy of the first down. And Tom, this is a Garrigan team. They are totally fine in second and short, third and short situations.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the way you look at this situation, probably looking at 2-down territory, especially with the dual threat quarterback with Furch.
So now on third and short, the Golden Bears will go out of the I for the first time today. And Furch, quarterback run right side, has the first down. And Tate Furch had a really, really big game with his legs in that semifinal win over Audubon.
Yeah, because you can't get caught with the eye candy back in the backfield, Trevor, because, a lot of times they're going to be focusing, obviously, on Marceau, but, he does a great job of reading, and then he'll go ahead and keep it.
Gain of 3 by Furch. You see the Bishop Garrigan starting offense on your screen. 1st and 10 for the Golden Bears on their opening drive. Furch, handoff Marceau. Marceau got maybe a yard or so before Cal Pryor makes the tackle. And a 2nd down coming up for Bishop Garrigan on this opening drive of this 8-player state championship game here in Cedar Falls. So, Tom, so far, Garrigan's been able to move the ball kind of at the rate they want to.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to pound it. It's one of his keys to success last week. He had told us, pound the rock. I don't see anything different this entire series.
On 2nd down, they will pound the rock again. Furch, right side, bowls forward for a couple yards, and a 3rd down coming up. And maybe a passing situation here, Tom, for this Garrigan offense. Not a team that throws the ball a lot, but will, as you see the Woodbine defense here on your screen.
Yeah, the guys up front, especially Jax Pryor, right in the middle at nose guard. He's got to be very disruptive today. But, once again, it's 3rd and 6. I still see them having 2 downs to try to pick up the 1st down.
Garrigan converted their first 3rd down of this drive. They'll try to keep the drive alive with another 3rd down conversion. Just south of midfield, Furch will keep it after faking the give to Joyce, and it's going to be close, but a good run by Tate Furch, and it looks like it'll be enough for a 1st down. And we'll see the chains move, and you see the replay here. What'd you see here, Tom?
Well, you're going to see they had one of their guys pulling to the outside, had a great kick-out block there. And once again, that's just a great read by the quarterback. He can either obviously hand that off or he can keep it, and just a great decision there.
Garrigan now into Woodbine territory as they'll put Joyce in motion left to right. Furch running right side. Got about a yard out of that, but not much more. And a 2nd down coming up for this Garrigan offense. Joe Friend made the tackle for the Woodbine Tigers.
Trevor, something's got to give today. Woodbine is the #1 defense in the state in yards allowed, points allowed, and rushing yards allowed. So you look at the guys that they've got down there, something's got to give either way today. 1st
down has not been a good down for Garrigan so far. They've netted 2 yards on 1st down, but 2nd, 3rd have been a little bit better, as you see there. Run forward for a handful of yards for Tate Furch, and now a 3rd and manageable coming up for this Bishop Garrigan offense.
Yeah, must have just seen something there. Obviously, a little bit of a quarterback sneak for an easy 6 yards.
So now a 3rd and short coming up for Bishop Garrigan with the football at the 33-yard line. Very efficient drive so far. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far on this drive, and Furch will put it in the belly of his running back, C.J. McGregor. 1st down and more. McGregor, 10, 5. The first touchdown of the day goes Garrigan's way as C.J. McGregor finds the end zone. And the Golden Bears are on the board first.
Yeah, just a little bit of an off-balance play, handing the ball off here to the tailback. Great blocking, especially number 11 leading up through. Picks up a great block there on the defensive end. So just pay dirt right there all the way to the end zone.
So a efficient first drive for the Golden Bears results in a touchdown. And now they'll line up and go for 2 and try to make this an 8-point possession. And they will keep it with Furch, and he gets gobbled up and thrown down as Joe Friend and company there to thwart the 2-point attempt. But Tom, a very, very nice drive by the Garrigan offense to get things started.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll see here in the replay, it was going to be play action pass, but that's just a great job coming off the edge there, obviously by number 6.
Joe Friend making the tackle there for Woodbine and keeps it a 6-point possession, but the Golden Bears get on the board first here early on in the 1st quarter. And now we'll get to see the Woodbine offense go to work for the first time. Stay connected with Iowa PBS Sports no matter where you're watching from. Join the conversation. Follow us on Facebook and X and use hashtag Iowa PBS Sports to enjoy championships with other fans. And Tom, now we get to see this Woodbine offense. What are you looking for?
Well, one way to control Woodbine's offense is not to let him get on the field, Trevor. And, just a nice methodical drive there once again. Running the football the entire length of the field, not having to worry about passing, even though sometimes they were in some behind-the-chain situations. So I'm looking for, the same thing. Woodbine, they're able to pass the ball. Obviously, they're very dynamic. So we'll see.
Garrigan tries a short kick that rolls out of bounds, so Woodbine will have pretty good field position to start their first drive of the game. His first penalty of the game is the kickoff out of bounds on the Woodbine sideline. And now the Tigers getting ready to get the football, led by dynamic quarterback Brody Pryor. So, of course,
kick infraction. Kicking team. Ball will be placed at 25. First down, Woodbine.
So, of course, with the kickoff out of bounds, you get the choice on what you want to do with that. And Woodbine is going to take the football at the 25-yard line. And now this Tigers offense goes to work. Brody Pryor has been electric for them this year. 35 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing touchdowns. And he's got a bevy of weapons at his disposal. First play for Woodbine is a pass. Pryor will decide to tuck it and run instead. And Pryor will pick up a nice gain on first down. Might actually be enough for a first down. And Tom, that's kind of the hidden part of Brody Pryor's game, is what he's able to do with his legs.
Yeah, and they went with the two-man front up there, and obviously they just broke contained to the outside. Obviously they're trying to defend the pass the best they can. Brody Pryor last week with 231 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. He's going to be a problem all day, I feel, and I just think that those receivers are going to be able to find some of the pockets.
So Woodbine offense not afraid to air it out. They lead the state in touchdown passes with 47. Pryor responsible for 35 of those. On first down, Micah Moore is running left side, and Moores will turn forward and make it a second short. And Tom, it really felt like in their semifinal win over Gladbrook-Rhinebeck, he was the key with how well he was able to run the football.
Yeah, absolutely. He just ran so hard throughout the entire game. Here's their starting offense for Woodbine, and obviously you can see the weapons that they've got there all the way through their lineup.
Whistle and a official stoppage. Yeah, all kinds of playmakers for Woodbine. We mentioned Micah Moores, Landon Bloom, a multi-sport star athlete gaining interest from the Division I, not just Division I level, but from some premier Division I programs. Second short, Pryor pass, caught to the aforementioned Bloom. Bloom does a good job at cutting upfield, and they'll keep the drive going with a first down, and Bloom was the hero of that semifinal win over Gladbrook-Rhinebeck.
Yeah, you can just see here, he runs a great route here with just a quick curl of about 6 yards, just kind of sitting down. Great job of timing there by the quarterback.
First down for Woodbine. Pryor will dump it out of the backfield. Micah Moores, and he does get a handful of yards out of it, but Madden Miller able to make the good open field tackle. And we talked about Bloom being the hero in their semifinal win. Well, Madden Miller, maybe the unsung hero in Garrigan's semifinal win over Audubon, had a pick late in the first half and then caught a touchdown pass as well.
Yep, and had a sack in that game. Yep. He's just very dynamic. I know last week he's really stuck out for you and I, Trevor, and he's just a special athlete, and obviously it's somebody they got to recognize.
2nd and 7 now coming up for Woodbine into Garrigan territory. Pryor rolling right, throws downfield, incomplete, just overthrew his intended receiver, Aiden Kanan. And now it'll be a 3rd and 7 coming up for this Tiger offense. And Tom, so far we're halfway through the first quarter. Both teams been able to move the ball well. 5 total first downs thus far. Yeah,
and he did have a couple of guys open there. It's something that you can see they will definitely probably come back to, because they had Bloom running a skinny post down the middle of the field, and he was there, but he obviously just chose to go to the outside.
3rd and 7 now for Woodbine, and what I'd imagine is 4-down territory at the Garrigan 24. Pryor in the pocket, throws right side, sure-handed. Bloom makes the catch. It'll be a gain of 11, as you'll see the replay here in just a moment. Landon Bloom getting involved early, which is something they weren't able to do in that semifinal win.
No, and if you were to see this route, this is absolutely outstanding. The timing between Pryor and Bloom right there was just efficient. You know, I had the opportunity to watch him on film and to see him live during the regular season, and what really impresses me is how he comes out of his stance, his first steps explosion. So definitely something we will look to see later in the game.
Reason he leads the state in touchdown catches this year. Now on first down, Micah Moore is running left side, cuts up field. Moore's inside the 10 and gets upended around the 5-yard line. So Woodbine now going to have the ball inside the 5 on their first drive of the game, trying to match Garrigan's early score. Now we see this Garrigan starting defense, and it's all kind of linchpinned by that linebacker, Ethan Marceau.
Yeah, he's just a dynamic player, being able to go all the way across the field. But right there, Woodbine, a great job of getting to the second level, able to handle him to break that loose for about an 8-yard gain.
So now Woodbine with the ball just inside the 5-yard line on their opening drive of the game. Garrigan went down, scored on their first drive. Tigers trying to counter. Pryor will hand off. Moores scores. Touchdown, Woodbine, and we're tied. Michael Moores finds pay dirt. 14th rushing touchdown of the year for him, and just the answer the Tigers needed after Garrigan went down the field first.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Marceau, he's a force for Bishop Garrigan, but right there you can see right here in the replay, just a great job of blocking up front. Everybody's got a hat-on hat, and obviously Micah Moores is able to finish that off. Big 2-point conversion right here.
So now Woodbine will go for 2 as they try to take the lead. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here so far today, and on the 2-point try, option play to Micah Moores, and a nice open field tackle made by Titan Troyer of Bishop Garrigan. So both teams score first, but neither team able to get the 2-point conversion. And through a little over 6.5 minutes of this game, we've got a tie ball game, Tom Peterson.
Yeah, this is just some great football right now. The bigs up front for both teams are doing outstanding.
We'll see the replay of the 2-point conversion, an option pitch to Micah Moores, and Titan Troyer did everything as a coach on that, Tom, that you teach.
Yeah, and the defensive end did a great job. His one responsibility is to make sure that he gets the quarterback, let the guys behind him clean everything up. That's just great execution on the defensive side.
So now Garrigan will get the football back for their second possession of the game. The Golden Bears, under the guidance of the legendary head coach Marty Wadley, been going at it 30-plus years, 34th season there for the Golden Bears. Don't miss a minute of today's championship action. Catch the live stream on YouTube and IowaPBS.org. Fun one so far here in this 8-player state championship game, as Aiden Cannon will get ready to kick it away for Woodbine, and Bishop Garrigan will get the rock for their second time. This will be a returnable kick, and they'll hand it off to McGregor on the kick, and McGregor gets spun down at around the 13-yard line. And that'll be where Garrigan begins their next drive.
Great job there, just staying disciplined with the reverse on the kickoff receive, but you know, an open field tackle, just an outstanding job there.
So now Bishop Garrigan, who scored on their first drive in a methodical manner, will have a long ways to go on their next drive as this begins on their own 13.
What really sticks out for me, Trevor, is the 4 linebackers for Woodbine, total combined over 200 tackles.
First and 10 for the Golden Bears. Tate Furch at quarterback. They will hand off Ethan Marceau. Marceau bowls forward for 3 yards. And you know, Tom, the key on that last drive for Garrigan, they were not great on first down, but third down was the money down.
Yeah, and you want to make sure, like you had said, when you're a running football team, first down is just essential to make sure that you're getting some type of positive yards. Great job there, just getting a push up front.
So now 2nd and 7 coming up for the Golden Bears. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Furch, give Marceau again, not anything there for the taking. Lucas Olson there to make the tackle. He had a big sack late in that game in the semifinal, and Gladbrook Rhinebeck was trying to drive down the field and tie it. Olson gets a tackle there, and now it's a 3rd and long for Garrigan, which is not a spot they love to be in.
Yeah, you're going to see here, Carter McGregor, number 8, right there. He just kind of missed the first guy that was through, let him go. And obviously with the defense, like Woodbine's being number 1, you can't let somebody like Lucas Olson just go unblocked.
Woodbine is definitely won first and second down, but as I mentioned, third down, the money down for Garrigan thus far. They're hoping to duplicate that. Furch, throwback left side, pass is caught, Weston Rosenmeyer, but he's tackled. Nice open field tackle made by Joe Friend. And it looks like the first punt of the game is going to come from Bishop Garrigan.
What an outstanding play out there. Staying home, reading your keys up front, eyes through the guards, into the backfield. Just a great job of staying home and making the open field play.
So looks like Bishop Garrigan will punt it away. Michael Joyce doing the honors. And Woodbine will have Dylan Reed back to return. This is a Garrigan team that they haven't had to punt a lot this year. Nice punt by Joyce, and Reed had to back up to it and wound up losing yards out of that. And Tom, now we see the Woodbine offense for the second time here today. On that first drive, what'd you see from the Tigers?
You know, just mixing it up. You know, they were able to run the football with Micah Moores. And like I said before, to me today, it's going to be essential about them protecting Pryor back there, because if he has time to throw, Trevor, it could be a long day for Bishop, because they've got the weapons to the outside, and obviously that was one of their keys.
Did you see new relationship, the High School Athletic Association and PBS, a part of some awesome coverage coming your way throughout the 2025-2026 school year. On first down, Pryor wants to wind and fire over the middle of the field. It's incomplete. Wanted to go to Aiden Kanan, but that was defended well by Weston Rosenmeyer, by Michael Joyce, rather. And a good play on first down. Now Woodbine behind the chains on first down.
Yeah, but I don't think that affects them as much like it does Bishop Garrigan. You know, what a luxury to be able to have 2 wide receivers that are 6'5", respectively.
So Woodbine, who had 4 first downs on that opening drive, as they went 8 plays, 55 yards, facing a second down now with just over 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter of a 6-6 ball game. It's like the work out of a pistol. And they will give it to Moores, and that went nowhere. And guess who was in there? Ethan Marceau and company make the tackle. Now a 3rd and long coming up for the Tigers.
Yeah, just a great job up front, you know, getting a push there by big number 75. He's been outstanding with Carson Kramer and what he's been doing, allowing for Marceau to come up. One of the things, if you've noticed early on, is the different defensive fronts that they're showing. So right now it looks like they're going to be going with a 2-man front and an obvious passing situation.
So 3rd down now for Woodbine. They were 1 of 1 on these in their opening drive. So just 2 down linemen for Garrigan on this 3rd down. Pryor fakes, goes downfield, has a man, Reed, he hauls it in, inside the 10, and Woodbine cashes in on 3rd down, and they're going to have goal to go.
Yeah, that's just an old school chair right there, and what a great pass.
Brody Pryor to Dylan Reed for the monster gain. You'll see it on the replay. Pryor put enough sauce on that one, and Reed did a good job of tracking it down. And now the Tigers with the ball on the 3-yard line. Chance to take the lead. On first down, they give to Moores. Moores fighting off a tackler and might have got a yard or so out of that. We'll make it a 2nd and goal now coming up for the Tigers. They're late in the first quarter.
Yeah, watching them on film, you know, they do a lot of no huddle offense, and right there they just tried to catch Bishop Garrigan a little bit about a sink. I actually thought that they had numbers there, but obviously just a great play on the interior.
So after the long pass completion from Brody Pryor to Dylan Reed, Woodbine now in business inside the 5. Trying to take the lead. They work out of a pistol. Keep an eye on Landon Bloom on the right side. See if they go to him. Pryor rolling right. Pryor throws across his body. Dangerous pass. It's caught though in the back of the end zone by Aiden Kanan. And the Tigers take the lead.
What a throw over the top. And like I just mentioned a little bit before, the size advantage. 2 receivers that are 6'5", you know, it makes it a lot easier.
We'll see the replay of that one. That was not an easy throw for Brody Pryor, who hits Aiden Kanan. 36 touchdown pass of the year for Pryor. One of the top quarterbacks in the 8-player scene this year. Now Woodbine will go for 2. Try to make this an 8-point possession. Pryor will dump it out. Moores catches it and gets into the end zone for the 2-point try. And it is a 14-6 Woodbine lead and a very good drive for the Tigers there.
Yeah, just very impressed with what Woodbine is doing offensively. I had the opportunity to visit with the offensive coordinator in Ryan Cannon, and he had asked, do you think that we could pass on him with the weapons that Woodbine has right now, you know, and the routes that they're running? He's doing an excellent job of play calling and mixing it up.
You know, Brody Pryor, a man of many talents, multi-sport athlete, also very, very good at showing the livestock.
Yeah, love it. Other things outside of sports, it's just awesome.
You know, the Pryor family, Tom, they are really, really big into the livestock showing scene. You see his brother Jax, a big part of it. You see Brody from a couple of years ago at the State Fair. Pryor show cattle in Western Iowa, very, very synonymous. So like I said, a man of many talents.
Yes.
Multi-sport athlete, really good basketball player, state medalist, state champion in track. Quarterbacking a team here today and just threw his 36th touchdown pass of the year. So 14-6 now in favor of Woodbine after the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And now the Tigers will kick it away with Aiden Koenig. Fielded on a hop. All kinds of room. Joyce, a nice tackle made just past the 20-yard line to the 21-yard line. And now this Garrigan offense will go to work. Third time we're seeing them here today. Tom, that first drive, very, very good. That second drive, probably not quite what they wanted. What have you seen from the Golden Bears thus far?
Well, you and I talked about this a little bit before. The first down is critical for them. You know, obviously they want to get some positive yards, but, you know, maybe try to mix it up just a little bit. I know they want to run the football, but maybe you do some type of play action on first down. But I look for them to get the quarterback more involved running the ball.
So on first down, they will give it to Furch, and Furch gets gobbled up for a loss of 1, and Lucas Olson once again in there on the tackle. And again, first down, the bugaboo for Garrigan. They'll be behind the chains.
Yeah, and just impressive right now. Lucas Olson is having his way on the defensive side currently.
2nd and 11 now coming up for Garrigan. Is just over a minute remaining here in the first quarter of his 8-player state championship game. Golden Bears scored on their first drive, 3 and out of their next drive, trying to stay afloat here early on. They will run it. Furch, left side, trying to bounce off a tackle and gets about a yard or so. Brenner Sullivan in there to make the tackle. And Tom, I know when we talked to Woodbine coach Dustin Crook this week, he mentioned, you know, Brenner Sullivan, kind of the glue guy, so to speak, of this team.
Yeah, and just his enthusiasm is contagious out there. And one of the things I'm noticing right out of the gates here is you're watching that Woodbine is shifting players in and out, and he had talked about their depth as being one of the essential elements for them to be successful on the defensive side, and you're obviously seeing that depth right now.
Could be the final play of the quarter. Is Furch wanting to throw. Furch over the middle of the field has a man. It is caught. It will be a first down for Bishop Garrigan. Dalton Clens makes the catch. A good job by the Golden Bears to keep this drive going with another third down conversion. And that will likely be the final play of the quarter.
That was a big play for them to move the chains.
So Garrigan will have a first down when we start the second quarter. Fun 12 minutes so far, 14-6. Woodbine leading Bishop Garrigan here in this 8-player state championship game.
A short break to speak with Jim Plegge. He's president and CEO of Bank Iowa in West Des Moines. So, Jim, tell me why Iowa Bankers supports Iowa PBS as well as boys athletics here in the state of Iowa.
Yes, Paul. The Student Athlete Achievement Awards are significant to Iowa student athletes and their communities because they not only recognize athletic excellence, but also academic achievement, leadership, and character. Through the program's 30-year history, the IBA has awarded more than $360,000 in scholarships to student athletes in football, basketball, and wrestling. These scholarships are a win for all of us because after graduation, we hope these students will work right here in Iowa.
And that support of those scholarships is incredible, right?
It is indeed. So much like the IBA supports the Iowa banks, we are committed to supporting students by investing in their education and financial future which helps to build stronger communities. It reflects our commitment to community growth and long-term success across the state.
All right, Jim, thank you. All right, let's get back to the game.
Thank you, Paul. 1 quarter in the books here in Cedar Falls. 8-player state championship game. Woodbine leading Bishop Garrigan 14-6. We get ready to begin this second quarter. Tom, 12 minutes in the books. What have we learned?
Well, watching the front three for Woodbine has been spectacular. You know, you've got Matthew Tremmel, Jax Pryor, and Lucas Olson. Those 3 guys currently on first down especially are really causing some havoc for Bishop Garrigan, especially in the running plays. But that was a huge play right there for Bishop to be able to convert that third down. You know, Woodbine's going to drop back into a zone. They don't play man-to-man. There's going to be some seams and some pockets that are there. It's just essential, obviously, that Furch just needs to stay patient. Guys will open up, and he'll be able to find them.
Yeah, Bishop Garrigan, you know, they've ran the ball for 63 yards so far, and they've done so with a bevy of different rushers. 4 different guys have toted the rock for them thus far. Meanwhile, a good chunk of Woodbine success in that first quarter came through the air. A lot of it on that one big play from Brody Pryor to Dylan Reed.
Yeah, and I don't think it's any surprise. You know, I do look for Bishop Garrigan when they get back on the defensive side. They're really not getting any pressure currently on the QB with Pryor. And so right now he's kind of having his way, able to set his feet.
See Woodbine head coach Dustin Crook on your screen there a moment ago. A Woodbine guy through and through. Played there, went on, played a little college football, and then has spent the last dozen years leading his alma mater. A program that he has continued to just build and build over the years, culminating with a spot in today's game. So 1st and 10 for Garrigan to start the second quarter. Quarterback run, Tate Furch up to the 37-yard line, and a nice gain on first down, and one of their better first down plays thus far.
Yeah, and, you know, when you run the quarterback, you're able to have an extra blocker back there, and that's something I do foresee them doing that a little bit more.
So now a second down coming up for Bishop Garrigan here early on in the second quarter, trying to answer the Woodbine touchdown drive a moment ago. Looks like one receiver out on each side for the Golden Bears. There's Marceau running left side, lunges forward into Woodbine territory. And Tom, it really feels like if you're Bishop Garrigan, you want to get Ethan Marceau going.
Yeah, because you look at what he's done so far. That's his 5th carry of the day for about 9 yards is all. Woodbine has done an outstanding job containing him, but that is one of the few times I've seen the front three from Bishop Garrigan get some type of push.
Another third down for Garrigan. They're 4 or 5 on those bad boys so far today. We'll go in the eye, it looks like, on this 3rd and short, and what very well could be 4-down territory. And they will give Marceau. Marceau doesn't look like he got it. And it looks like it's going to be a 4th and short coming up for this Garrigan offense. And Tom, like you said, it's probably 4-down territory, isn't it?
Going to hurry up.
Yeah, they are not messing around. Furch under center in the I formation. Now we'll look over to the Garrigan sideline, and Coach Marty Wadley will take a timeout, and they're going to talk things over.
Timeout. Bishop Garrigan, their first of the half.
Here on this 4th down. Obviously a big play coming up on this 4th and short from around midfield. And Tom, you look, this Woodbine defense right now, they've done a really good job of keeping this Garrigan ground game bottled up.
Yeah, and we talked about their linebackers. Those 4 guys in their 3-4-1 defense, like I said before, over 200 tackles. They've got to be playing downhill. And that 3rd and 3 play right there, Trevor, they had 7 guys in the box within 2 yards rushing and blitzing.
So now 4th down coming up out of this timeout. You see the Garrigan Conference, Marty Wadley, longtime head coach, and you might be hard-pressed to find a sharper-dressed head coach in Cedar Falls this week than Coach Wadley, repping the suit and tie. Believe it or not, Tom, I believe he said 5 ties is all he's needed over the 35 years.
I wonder if some are shorter than the other, considering how long he's done it with the style change.
And it sounds like he's very superstitious with his ties. So here we go on 4th down. They will hand it off, and they don't get it. Ethan Marceau gets stood up by this Woodbine defense. And a big stop for the Tigers, and Jax Pryor among the bodies that was in there.
Yeah, you're going to see here the guys that are up front just did an outstanding job. You look at the push right there. Jax Pryor just sheds his block, exactly what he's coached to do, pushes him off right there, and just an outstanding play getting into the backfield. Thought maybe they would go with a quarterback sneak, but just chose a different path.
So Woodbine will take over near midfield, just on their side at the 39-yard line. And
maybe look for some type of play action to go deep here.
I know early in the year watching them, they love to take shots to Landon Bloom on first down. On first down, they'll run Brody Pryor, and he doesn't get much, if anything. And it'll be second down coming up for Woodbine. And Tom, this is a really big drive both ways. If you're Woodbine, you go down, you score, all of a sudden you're up 2 scores. You control the narrative from here. If you're Garrigan, you got to get a stop. Yeah,
because they haven't stopped them yet. You know, they've been very, I don't want to say, you know, not physical, but right now just a 2-man front. They got a lot of guys that second level. It almost looks like it's, you know, trying to prevent them from passing the ball.
So now on second down, Pryor will hand off Moores. Moores, room on the right side. Moores breaking tackles, has the first down. Into Garrigan territory and around the 25-yard line. A nice run by Michael Moores. Moves the Tigers deep into Garrigan territory. You'll see the replay on your screen here at home.
Yeah, I think you see Joe Frank. Yeah, look at, he's out there again, just making an outstanding block, just to give his teammates an opportunity to make a play. And right now, you know, we've already been talking about it a little bit. I still look for Garrigan to mix up that defensive front.
Micah Moore, 7 carries, 44 yards so far here today. Now Woodbine out of the pistol on this first down. Guess what? They'll feed Moores. Moores can't break out of an Ethan Marceau ankle tackle, and Marceau will drop him for a 1-yard loss.
Great play there with him reading his keys and shooting the gap into the backfield. I'm still looking to see them possibly get Bloom out to the wide side of the field, maybe some one-on-one coverage to toss the ball up to him for him to use his athleticism.
So now a second down coming up for this Woodbine offense. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Pryor rolling, throws man wide open, Jax Pryor. Pryor inside the 10 to the 5. The brothers have probably dreamed of that play in the backyard for years, and they connect on a big play inside the 5. And you'll see the replay of the brotherly love between the two.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, number 94 was not accounted for on that play. You know, it's something that, you know, as head coaches, you hide those when you need them. And obviously, great play call right there.
So now Woodbine inside the 5, inside the 3. They will run it with Moores. Moores bouncing off traffic and into the end zone for the second time. Michael Moores throws the Woodbine lead. And the Tigers roaring here early on.
Just dominant on the left side right there, getting a push, and then, you know, trying to tackle Michael Moores at 230 pounds. 200 pounds. That's a force to be reckoned with.
So Woodbine, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns so far. Now they'll line up and go for 2. They are 1 of 2 on those so far today. Interesting look for Woodbine out of this 2-point try. And now Pryor running left side. Tries to get the angle, and they'll say he did not get it. So just a 6-point possession there for the Tigers, but they now lead 20-6. Relive the championship excitement. Share these moments with your family, friends, and neighbors. Visit pbs.org for archives of championship games anytime. Tom, so far, this Woodbine offense has been humming.
Yeah, just clicking on all cylinders. They're able to run the ball. They've been able to pass the ball as well.
Now what a drive for the Tigers. They get the 4th down stop near midfield, and then they march it down the field. Of course, that big pass play from Brody Pryor to his brother Jax. Got them inside the 5, and then Michael Moores takes it from there. 5 plays, 40 yards, just under 2 minutes. And Woodbine up right now here in this 8-player state title game. But Tom, if you're Garrigan, I mean, this is a team that's been here before. They're not going to be rattled by any means.
Yeah, and you got plenty of time, 8 minutes and 34 seconds here in the second quarter. Nothing to, you know, to like be worried about. Just stick to your game plan, run the football, but they've got to mix it up. Just I feel a little bit more on first down, maybe just spreading it out a little bit more, but there's no reason to go away from your game plan. And obviously Coach Wadley, having the opportunity to visit with him this past week was just outstanding.
By the way, that 44-yard, the big catch from Brody Pryor to Jax Pryor, just the second catch of the year for Jax. Returnable kick for Bishop Garrigan, and bringing it upfield is C.J. McGregor, who had the rushing touchdown for them earlier on today. And now a very, very big drive for this Garrigan offense.
Yeah, because right now they're not able to run the football consistently. And, they've got to be able to do a better job with the guys up front. I just feel the penetration from Woodbine right now is just kind of overwhelming their offensive front.
So now a first down for Garrigan to start this drive. They will go under center, single back. Toss to McGregor, and nothing there. And this Woodbine interior defensive line has made life tough in between the tackles for Garrigan.
Yeah, and no different there. Great penetration up front. Great job there by your friend sending him back to the inside, and then the linebackers cleaning things up once again.
So now a second down coming up for Bishop Garrigan. And Tom, one thing it seems like, this has been a Garrigan offense. It's just been a little hesitant running the football. Need a big spark.
Yeah, they got to hit a big play.
So on second down, play action. Furch looking for that big play. It'll go right side over through Madden Miller. And it's a third down coming up for the Golden Bears. And boy, a really, really big play here.
Yeah, and they're just not comfortable in these third and long situations, but I would still like to see them. There's, spread the field out just a little bit more. You got a dual threat quarterback, obviously, back there, maybe giving him an opportunity just to make plays with his legs.
So now third down coming up for Bishop Garrigan is down 2 scores. Big possession here. They're 4 of 5, though, on third down. So this has been a very, very good spot for them. Furch back to pass. Throws right side. Has a man. It's incomplete just through the arms of the intended receiver, Michael Joyce. That was covered pretty well by Woodbine. The incomplete pass will make it fourth down.
Yeah, we were just talking about a big play, and right there was an opportunity. The ball kind of just goes right through his hands. It's hard to read. Great defensive play once again by Joe Friend that's out there covering. We've said his name quite a bit today already.
Second punt of the day for Bishop Garrigan. So Michael Joyce will tow it away. High snap. Joyce gets it down fine. And will carry that kick toward the Woodbine sideline and out of bounds at around the 23-yard line. And Tom, now if you're this Garrigan defense, what adjustments are you making to try to get off the field here?
Well, I can see what they're trying to do. With Bloom as athletic as he is, maybe they have a guy that's, up on him and then somebody over the top. But I've got to go back to what they were doing last week with at least a 3-man front or a 4-man front. So I look for them to maybe go back to what they're used to playing.
So Woodbine, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns thus far today. 7.5 to go here in the first half of the St. Player State Championship game. First down, Pryor wanting to throw, pocket collapsing. Pryor will tuck it and run. Pryor gets the first down. Good innovation by Brody Pryor. And Tom, when you look back at their semifinal game, I think the one play that comes to mind, it was a third down. There was some miscommunication in the backfield late in the game when it was tied, and Pryor was able to turn nothing into something, move the chains, and that kept that drive going. They ultimately scored and won the game.
Yeah, his footwork on that play that you're talking about, I know you and I just kind of giggled at each other, but just a great job of avoiding the pass rush there. There's got to be somebody that's got to be that spy in the middle to make sure they make that play.
First down for Woodbine. Pryor in the pocket, throws, caught by Bloom. Bloom gets a couple of yards. There'll be a second down coming up for Woodbine. Third catch of the day for Landon Bloom, a young man that multi-sport athlete, state runner-up in the high jump, very, very good basketball player, and he has got all kinds of interest from the collegiate level. The likes of Iowa, Iowa State, Nebraska have shown interest in him.
And just a mesh concept right there. And for those of you at home that maybe doesn't know what that is, just a couple of slot receivers just kind of going across, kind of like a pick play.
Second down and 9 now coming up for Woodbine from their own 35. Pryor Back to pass. Has Bloom, and Bloom couldn't quite haul it in. It would have been a highlight reel snag, something he's been accustomed to this year. Just couldn't quite haul it in. Now it's a third down coming up for Woodbine. A big chance for this Garrigan defense to get off the field, as you'll see the replay here. Missed it by that much.
Yeah, but what a great route. If you were to go back a little bit more on that replay, you would see it's kind of a double move that he put on the defensive back. And, you know, it's going to be very difficult. 8-man football, one of the hardest things to do, play man-to-man. You know, you don't have to do that all the time. It's hard.
Woodbine 2 for 2 on third downs today. Would love to make it 3 for 3. Garrigan hoping, of course, it'll be 2 for 3. On third down, they run Micah Morris. Morris trying to break out of a tackle and will not be able to do so as Ethan Marceau makes a stop, and it's a fourth down for Woodbine and likely their first punt of the day.
Yeah, kind of a surprising call there, especially when you've got man-to-man coverage out there with your playmakers. But once again, a great play there defensively with Ethan Marceau coming up to fill and shoot that gap, then obviously tackling in the open field.
Ethan Marceau just kind of looks and walks like a football player, doesn't he?
Yeah, thank goodness we're up here.
Been a big part of the success for Garrigan over the years, and now Woodbine looking like they're going to punt. Now, one thing to note, Brody Pryor, who's their quarterback, is also their punter, and Pryor will kick it away.
Wow.
Nobody back to return for Garrigan. A punt caroms out of bounds, and we'll see where the official spot is. But Tom, you know, the first stop of the day for the Garrigan defense. Now if you're the Golden Bears, you got to find a way to go down the field and make this a one-score game.
Yeah, it's got to carry over a little bit, and I'm still, you know, I'm going to keep kind of probably coming back to it. I would still like to see them try to get Furch, you know, with some space, Trevor, you know, going some type of a spread, just get some movement going, obviously, just to try to get some type of misdirection with Woodbine's defense, because their front three are having their way right now.
And so they are going to have a long ways to go. Will Bishop Garrigan, officials rule that ball out of bounds inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. So a 77-yard drive coming up for the Golden Bears if they want to make this a one-score game. And they will run it with Furch right side, just try to get a little bit of breathing room. And they do get a couple of yards. And now it's second down coming up for Bishop Garrigan.
Middle linebackers are coming almost every play. You know, once again, just a great play. Obviously, Brenner Sullivan, I think that you had said earlier on, he's kind of like the glue, is what Dustin Crook had said. And he's also just having a phenomenal day.
Second down and 8 now coming up for Bishop Garrigan. It's an offense that leads the state in total yards. Been held at just 85 so far. They will get more there with Marceau bowling forward close to a first down. And see if they try to feed Ethan Marceau a little bit more on this drive.
Yeah, biggest run for them so far today, I would say. Just got some good head-to-head blocking on the left-hand side.
Makes it a 3rd and 1. Not quite enough for the first down on that run, but a 3rd and 1 coming up for Garrigan. They will run it Furch, and Furch runs into the pile. We'll have to check the spot, but boy, I would not want to be Coach Marty Wadley if that's short, but they will move the chains and say first down. And a much-needed 3rd down conversion for Bishop Garrigan will keep this drive going with under 5 minutes left here in the first half.
Yeah, the pads are popping down there for sure. Woodbine is extremely physical right now, bringing a lot of pressure up through the middle.
So now 1st and 10 for Bishop Garrigan. This drive started on their own 3. Shotgun look for the Golden Bears. Furch will run it. Furch up past the 15 to the 17-yard line and a gain of 4. And Tom, how much of this drive too, if you're Garrigan? I mean, it's got to end in a score, but also having this much field to work with is probably kind of your friend as well, because you can burn a lot of time.
Yeah, but you know, like I think Woodbine gets the ball to come out of the of the second half, and so this is essential, I feel, for Bishop Garrigan to make something happen. And this is the first time we've had a 2-and-1 as far as 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right.
Garrigan is owned the time of possession category right now. Is Furch running left side. It's brought down around the 18-yard line, and a 3rd down now coming up for Bishop Garrigan with 3.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
One of the things I've noticed here, the wide receivers from Bishop right now are not getting out to get blocks on those defensive backs or outside linebackers, and those are the guys that are coming up and making these plays. So the wide receivers are going to have to do a better job.
Garrigan 5 of 8 on 3rd downs today. Big one here as they try to keep this drive going late in the first half. Go out of a shotgun and put a man in motion. Furch wanting to pass as he rolls right. Furch now will tuck it and run, and Joe Friend stands him up, but it looks like Furch has enough for the first down and then some. And it'll move the chains for Garrigan, and a big third down conversion there, Tom.
Yeah, what a great play, though, by Joe Friend coming up, because he put a great hit there on Furch, but, able to use his feet, rolled him out a little bit to the right, able to make something happen.
So Furch moves the chains. 2:40 to go here in the first half of this game. Garrigan does have 2 timeouts left as they try to maneuver down the field. Here's Furch. Left side. Furch gets a block on the edge. Furch into Woodbine territory and out of bounds. And a big run by Tate Furch, and that might have been their longest run of the day right there.
Yeah, and once again, I know that this is something we had talked about. You'll see here on the replay, great block out in front. Both guys are, our guys are pulling, and number 52, Nate Lear, and then obviously Marceau doing a great job. But just getting Furch more involved in the offense.
Garrigan moves it to the Woodbine 36-yard line. 2.5 to go here in the first half. 19-yard gain on that run by Tate Furch. This drive started at their own 3. Let's continue to move along. C.J. McGregor gets a carry, and Brenner Sullivan there to make the tackle after a gain of about a yard. And now a second down coming up for Bishop Garrigan with just over 2 minutes to go here in the half.
And if you're Bishop Garrigan, you don't want to leave him a ton of time.
No.
As explosive as Woodbine has been so far.
Just over 2 minutes now left here in the first half of this one in Cedar Falls. Furch under center. We'll put in the belly of McGregor. McGregor spinning forward. Does a good job of extending out and maybe getting another yard or two out of that to the 32-yard line. And a third down coming up for Bishop Garrigan. An area they have been in a lot today. This will be their 10th third down of the afternoon or of the morning. They are 6 of 9 on those so far here today.
And with Ethan Marceau coming off the field, obviously passing situation here for Bishop Garrigan.
So 3rd down and 6 for Garrigan from the Woodbine 32. Trying to cut this down to a 1-score game late in the first half. Furch looks like a quarterback run right side. It was sniffed out well by Woodbine, but Furch does a good job of bouncing it back to the middle of the field. It'll make this a 4th and short from the 27. Needed 6, got 5, but now it's a 4th down for the Golden Bears with under a minute to go in the quarter, and I believe we're going to see a timeout on the Woodbine side. And we will.
Timeout, Woodbine, their first of the half.
So, Tom, we saw in 4th and short earlier. Garrigan gets stood up. If you're Coach Marty Wadley, what are you drawing up here?
I'm trying to just give just let him do a quarterback sneak. The guys in up front, they got to do a better job of pinching. Last time, Pryor did a great job of chucking the guy in front of him, getting into the backfield to disrupt things. I wouldn't be in favor of handing the ball off deep.
You see Coach Marty Wadley talking with his squad as they get ready to attack this monster 4th down coming up. Meanwhile, on the Woodbine side, head coach Dustin Crook. He's the defensive coordinator, by the way, for this Tigers team. He would love for his squad to get a stop, and I'm guessing with the timeout there, they're thinking, hey, we get a stop. We get the ball back with 50-some seconds to go, and not a long ways to go down the field. We have a chance to maybe double dip, so to speak, to end the half and start the half. Yeah,
and especially with the playmakers they've got. I know that it sounds like a broken record, but they're just so electric there on the outside. So big play here for Bishop Garrigan to keep this thing alive.
4th and short coming up. Everybody on their feet here in Cedar Falls. See the Woodbine crowd. A lot of people making the trek from Harrison County here to Cedar Falls. On 4th and short, they will give Marceau, and he's got the first down to the 25-yard line. Garrigan still has 2 timeouts. So the clock will stop to move the chains. Now the clock will continue to run, and Garrigan saving those timeouts for a little later in the possession. So 1st and 10. Furch will put a man in motion. Furch back to pass. Rolling right. Finally will tuck it and run and scoots out of bounds after a gain of a couple. He had Matthew Tremmel and Jax Pryor chasing him. Really good coverage downfield by this Woodbine defense, Tom.
Yeah, and he's rolling out there. One of the things that I did just notice, and I noticed it also, it's the same play they ran. Weston Rosenmeyer is open, but he's just waiting a little bit too long, and what he's doing is he's running a little bit too far. It looks like to me back to hit that safety. If he could just cut that off and come across the field maybe with a dig route, I think that that's something that would be there.
Tate Furch, 16 rushes for 62 yards today. 36 seconds to go here in the first half. Bishop Garrigan trying to cut this down to a one-score game. Furch back to pass, goes to Rosenmeyer, hauls it in inside the 10, and brought down at the 6. And that time, the passing game connects for a big play. And the Golden Bears inside the 10 here late in the first half. We do have an injured Tiger down, and that is not good.
Official timeout for an injured player.
See the replay on the scoreboard, or on the video board here as you're watching at home. And
you know, the timing, Trevor, right in between that zone gap that's there, that's just a great job.
So Weston Rosenmeyer with the big gain, and a stoppage for an injury timeout on the Woodbine side. And I believe it's Brody Pryor that they're looking at, and Pryor, the standout quarterback, came into the day just under 50 total touchdowns, one of the state's all-time leading passers, and plays defense as well, as do a lot of quarterbacks at the 8-man level. Never something you want to see, but hopefully it's...
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. I think he'll end up being okay. It's great to see him up.
Look at the catch and then the tackle, and
looks like he lands right on top of his knees, and one of those that hurts for a little bit, but I think he'll be ready to rock.
He got the wind knocked out of him, and I'd imagine a lot of people in Harrison County were holding their breath. Here we go after the big play. Furch will run it. Furch up the middle for about 2 yards to the 4-yard line, and now Bishop Garrigan will call their second timeout.
Timeout.
And it'll be a third down.
Their second of the half.
Second down coming up for Bishop Garrigan inside the 5 with 21 seconds to go here in the half. And Tom, with a timeout in your back pocket, if you're Garrigan, you can still run the ball in the middle of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't change what they've been doing. Mixing it up a lot more on this drive, Trevor, they have been. But I would still try to get Furch the ball, with an extra blocker in front of you with Ethan Mason. So that's something I would be looking for them to do again. So they've got the playbook is wide open.
And Woodbine will get the football to start the second half. So Bishop Garrigan can cut this down to a one-score game. They scored on their first drive, went down the field very methodical, kind of like they've done all year. And then they had a fourth down, get stood up near midfield. Woodbine forced a 3-and-out, and Woodbine's offense, their first 3 drives ended in touchdowns. So far this drive, it started all the way back at their own 3, Tom. 14 plays, 73 yards.
And the biggest thing is not, hopefully, for them letting Woodbine get the ball back this quarter also. Got to come away with some points.
So it'll be second down and goal from the 4 for Garrigan. 21 seconds to go here in the half. They do have one more timeout. They'll go out of an eye. And they will put in the belly of Marceau. Marceau falling forward. I think he got stopped just a bit shy. And now with the clock stopped, the clock running, Garrigan's going to have to call their final timeout. And Tom, this is a very interesting spot for Garrigan because you have the ball basically right on the goal line. So you would think maybe like quarterback sneak or something here, but they don't have any timeouts. You'll see the replay. Marceau, with a head of steam, just gets tripped up inside the 1.
Great mark there by the officials for sure. To me, this is simple. You got enough time, Trevor, for 2 plays. I would go quarterback sneak, and if you don't get it, I still think you have enough time to snap the ball one more time with 14 seconds. Just got to make sure if they're tackled inbounds, that you've got 2 play calls called right now in the huddle.
Right, because the other thing is you can't spike it here because if you don't get it, it's 4th down.
Yep.
So 3rd and goal from basically the goal line for Bishop Garrigan here late in the first half of this 8-player state championship game. First of 7 title games coming your way on PBS over the course of the next 2 days. First of 4 here today. So 3rd down for the Golden Bears. They'll rush up the line of scrimmage. Furch trying to run left side, and that's going to put on the spot. I don't think he got it. The clock will continue to run. Garrigan's going to have to hurry, make sure everybody gets set. Final play of the half. They'll try it again. Furch will be into the end zone. Touchdown, Garrigan. I don't know if that's quite the way they drew it up, but Tate Furch puts the Golden Bears within one score at the end of the half.
Remember, like we said, that they would have plenty of time to get those 2 plays in, but hey, a good push there up front. You'll see here on the replay, boy, it is close, and it's hard to see, but I think maybe the second effort gets him in there.
So a massive score for Bishop Garrigan at the end of the half, and now they will go for 2 to try to make this a 6-point game. They did not get their first 2-point try of the day. That was a 17-play, 77-yard drive that went 5.5 minutes. And it was just what the doctor ordered for Bishop Garrigan. For many reasons, you score, you keep Woodbine's offense off the field. Now they'll try to make this a 6-point game going into the break. Furch running left. Furch wanting to throw, realizes that running might be the best option. He gets in for the 2-point conversion. And Bishop Garrigan cuts this deficit down to 6. 20-14, Woodbine leading at the break. We've had a doozy so far here in Cedar Falls. And we've got 24 minutes left. You'll see some of the highlights. Tate Furch tucking in and running to finish off the 8-point possession. Halftime here in Cedar Falls. See Tate Furch now go to the locker room, and adjustments will be made, and somebody 24 minutes from a state championship will go home to Algona or Woodbine. We're going to find out, but halftime coverage coming up here in just a minute in this 8-player state championship game.
Executive Director and General Manager of Iowa PBS. We are your home for boys and girls high school sports championships. Our statewide network is the only local television broadcast available in all 99 counties of Iowa. And our public service mission ensures every Iowan can watch your team compete for a state championship, on air or online. Our focus is on the communities, coaches, and student athletes that represent the next generation of Iowans. While our mission to serve Iowa continues, we need your support now more than ever. Please consider supporting Friends of Iowa PBS and help power your statewide network.
Every year, Iowa's finest high school musicians gather in Ames for the Iowa All-State Music Festival.
Makes me want to sing, makes me want to shout. I can tell the world what I'm talking about.
Enjoy incredible performances from the 2025 All-State Band, Chorus, and Orchestra in Hilton Coliseum. 2025 All-State Music Festival, Thanksgiving Day on Iowa PBS.
Iowa PBS has been a part of my life as long as I've been watching TV. Our 2 daughters were raised on Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, and our granddaughter loves Daniel Tiger. Iowa PBS's programming has something for everyone, and I feel fortunate to be a member and have the benefit of watching a great show with Passport whenever I want.
Make your year-end gift by December 31st. Donate today and help inspire Iowans all year long.
Every county in Iowa has a story worth investigating. From river valleys to rolling farmland, Find Iowa uncovers the culture, history, and science behind all 99 counties. Click, explore, and be inspired. Scan the QR code and discover the stories in all 99 counties with Find Iowa.
Woodbine leads Garrigan 20-14 here at halftime inside the Unidome. Game number 1 of 7. Game number 1 of 4 today. I'm Paul Yeager, glad to have you here. In 1990, Iowa was the first state in the country to bring wheelchair events into the fold of our annual high school track and field championships. Today, around 35 states have followed suit. In this growing field of competitors, one athlete from Bedford is pushing the envelope even further.
Mark, set, go!
Some might say track and field draws parallels with life, demanding your all at a moment's notice, testing endurance, and overcoming hurdles.
I just try to practice hard every day.
Eli Johnson has crushed expectations, showing relentless spirit as a wheelchair athlete and more. The Bedford senior takes on various disciplines year-round and has earned the right to compete at the state track meet every year as a high schooler.
I get up at like 7 and then go to school. I'll have cross-country track practice or basketball after school, and then I'll be on the farm till like 9 o'clock or later.
In addition to track, shot put, cross country, and participation in a Kansas City-based wheelchair basketball league, Eli raises animals he shows on the county level and at the Iowa State Fair.
He pushes himself harder than we ever do. He is very active. He's always doing something. It wears me out just thinking about it sometimes.
Coach Clint Powell was born and raised in Bedford and ran track here as well.
I long jumped and I ran sprints mostly.
Powell has headed up the boys' high school track program the past 4 years, having run the middle school team prior, where he caught an early glimpse of Eli's courage and resolve as a 7th grader.
Eli and his family, I mean, they're the ones that push him to do so good. His mom, his dad, his brothers, they're a great family.
My older brothers were involved in the farm and sports, and I just wanted to be like them and just do stuff that they did.
Eli's parents, Kathy and Roger Johnson, are both educators and have imparted solid values to their 5 boys, including faith, will, and drive.
Eli was born with spina bifida, so the physical therapist had told us that those kids just don't do anything. They just sit around, and we said no. We really advocated for him, that we really wanted him to be able to try to do something, to try to walk and do different things. And she was pretty persistent that no, he wasn't going to be able to, but Eli did, which kind of led to the cross country that he does now.
From a young age, Eli learned to use his stomach muscles to walk with special braces that were ultimately no match for his determination. He broke several pairs made from progressively durable materials, but eventually defaulted to his wheelchair due to complications brought on by the coronavirus pandemic.
During COVID, he kind of quit using them just because we knew everybody was busy at school. Plus, his knees got a lot tighter, so that made it more difficult.
Medical authorities confirm that physical activity is crucial for individuals with spina bifida, and muscular disuse can lead to atrophy. Despite the setbacks, Eli continued to push the envelope.
We have some hills to go from the house to the barns, and down the road we have hills. And so when he walks sheep, he's actually training for cross country. There's a monster hill up there. It makes his arms stronger, it helps his endurance, and definitely gets a lot of road work that maybe kids don't get in other areas.
Sometimes he'll have one sheep in one hand and have one tied to the back of his wheelchair, and so he'll have 2 sheep he's taking up the hill at the same time.
Eli has connected with different breeders at the Iowa State Fair who have helped him locate different animals to showcase.
I like showing at the state fair every year. It's really fun just meeting people and seeing everybody. It just shows that people in wheelchairs and disabilities can do anything that they want.
As the incoming vice president of his local Taylor County FFA chapter, Eli also helps lead demonstrations and exhibits geared toward younger students as part of Bedford High's annual Ag Safety Day.
How much does it eat a day?
He eats about 2 pounds a day, probably.
I don't think he's at any disadvantage. I think it's really inspiring, and I really think that a lot of kids look up to him because of everything that he accomplishes.
FFA instructor Dana Offord says Eli's future plans are to attend a college that offers wheelchair basketball, earn a farm-related degree, and begin a career in agriculture.
Anything that Eli wants to put his mind to, he does.
Eli attributes his tireless motivation and ability to excel across multiple disciplines to his unwavering faith.
From Bedford, Eli Johnson.
I pray before I race every time. It just helps me focus and get my mind ready.
Friends and family laud Eli's humility, can-do attitude, and the blueprint for excellence he's drawn up.
I think that's probably something we take pride in as parents, is knowing that he is leaving an impact on others, and that his approach, they see his constant smile and his happiness and his pure joy in doing those things. I think it's hard to sometimes realize how much of a difference you can make on somebody, and that's been the cool thing for Eli, is the ability to do that. And I think no matter where you are or what you do, you know, your lot in life, you can do that.
Great job, Eli, and he just wrapped up his high school cross-country career as just the third athlete in Iowa history to be a 4-time cross-country champion, finishing the 5K this year in a time of 20 minutes and 25 seconds. Halftime here. Woodbine leads 20-14 over Garrigan. When we come back, we're going to show you the first half highlights of the 8-player championship here from the Unidome in Cedar Falls. Back in a moment. You're watching statewide and worldwide online right now on Iowa PBS.
Settled before Iowa was a state, Davenport tells the tale of community, culture, and trade along the banks of the Mississippi River. A variety of architectural movements are preserved in Davenport in structures designed for civic and commercial life. Join Iowa PBS as we explore the arts and the architecture within the historic buildings of Iowa, Davenport.
Coming to Iowa PBS, December 2nd.
On the next Road Trip Iowa.
It's an important piece of history for our community.
We explore the southern stretch of Iowa's Jefferson Highway.
This is one of the perks of the job for sure.
This span of countryside offers unique attractions with soaring and shining views of our state. Saturday at 9 a.m.
Coming up on the next episode of Iowa Life, Caleb Wise grows creativity and tradition. Carlos Oliva becomes the Guatemalan dragon. And Midwest Pets for Life helps Iowans keep their pets close.
It breaks my heart to think they'd have to give it up.
All that and more on the next Iowa Life. Sunday at 10:30 on Iowa PBS.
Such a meaningful part of Iowa PBS is the coverage of unique Iowa events. And part of that is our high schools and our kids' programs, whether it's athletics or otherwise. The state fair coverage, that's such a part of the fabric of Iowa. And I think just the programming that covers things meaningful to our people in our state.
Donate today and support Iowa PBS.
The Unidome was dark yesterday afternoon, but lit enough so they could put the 8-player lines down. Remember, it's an 80-yard field. They got to tape it down. Takes about an hour with the crew. There they put the hash marks down, and then this morning they finish off by putting up the temporary goalpost, which is just behind where we're seated there. And after this game, they'll rip all the tape up, and we'll have 3 other games. But we're back here at halftime of the 8-player championship. 2014, Woodbine leads at the break. Let's see how that first half unfolded. It's pretty exciting, just like these 8-player games are. C.J. McGregor, there he goes. Great couple of blocks, as Tom Peterson told you. Watch that DN crush. And it's 6-0 early on after a 33-yard score. Then Micah Moores is going to get the call for Woodbine. He's going to put his head down and score from 4 out, ties it at 6. Then Pryor rolls out, buys time, throws a tiptoe grabbing catch. That's Aiden Kanan in the back. 14-6 Woodbine. And then it's brother to brother right here. Brody to Jax. And then it would be set up on a touchdown right here by Moores. He puts his head down again. And it's 20-6, but then a huge drive. 17 plays, 77 yards, goes 5.5 minutes, ends right there as time expires. 20-14, Furch the touchdown. He had 66 yards rushing. There's a look at your stats right now. It is super even. Total yards pretty much 2 yards apart. Rushing's the difference. Time possession as well, and that's also in that field. So that is what we have done here at halftime and in our first half. When we catch up, and we're going to be down on the field. We're going to hoist that winning trophy. We've got more things to see down there, but let's go back up. It's time for the second half. In a moment, though, when we come back, we'll go up to Trevor Mader and Tom Peterson. They'll have the second half call in just a moment when we return here on our halftime coverage on Iowa PBS.
We're Iowa PBS. We cover Iowa and the world. We're Market to Market, an Iowa Press. We're high school sports. We're science. We're adventure. We're drama and mystery. We're the arts. And we're Iowa's storyteller. We're lifelong learners. We're family first. We're educational. We're trusted. We're valued. We're essential. Your support makes all of this happen. Give today at iowapbs.org/donate.
You're watching Statewide Iowa PBS.
Funding provided by
Banking in Iowa goes beyond transactions. Banks work to help people and small businesses succeed. And Iowa banks are committed to building confident banking relationships. Iowa Banks, your partner through it all.
And by Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.
Halftime here in Cedar Falls. Class 8 players state championship game. We are 24 minutes away from crowning a state champion. It'll either be Woodbine winning their first in program history or Bishop Garrigan with their second in 3 years. Right now it's 20-14 in favor of Woodbine. Trevor Mater alongside Coach Tom Peterson. Coach, I mentioned one half in the books. Felt like Woodbine controlled the tempo throughout, but then a big drive at the end of the half has the Golden Bears probably feeling good going to the break.
Yeah, and that was essential, Trevor. 17 plays on that one. One of the things that really sticks out to me is the number of plays for each team. Currently, Woodbine only has 22, and then with Bishop Garrigan having 39, and then time of possession, it'll be interesting to see if the bigs from both sides, as far as the depth that they've got, if they're able to rotate some of those guys in, so they're there late in the fourth quarter.
Tom, I know you've coached in a state championship game. Hope I'm not bringing back bad memories. But, halftime, games are so much about adjustments. Both sides. Let's start on the Garrigan side with Coach Marty Wadley. What is the message to your team at the break?
Well, got to be able to establish some of the things up front. I thought they were kind of tentative in the beginning in regards to coming out, running the ball hard. I thought that they ran the ball harder a week ago than what I've seen so far tonight. But, you still got to like where you're at. You're down 6 points. You got 24 minutes to go.
On the other side, if you're Woodbine and Coach Dustin Crook, played pretty well in the first half. You get the football to start the second half. What does that halftime conversation look like?
Well, just keep doing what you've been doing so far. But I do look for them to get Bloom more involved. I believe he's had 3 receptions with 4 targets. He's too much of an electric player that can do things. And one of the adjustments that I did see from Bishop Garrigan is they started playing him more man-to-man. And even though they were doing that, he was open quite a few times, just an overthrow on the one. But I got to try to get him the ball as much as I can early on.
Paul mentioned the stats at halftime. And in terms of numbers, while maybe it's looked a little different, pretty similar. 162 total yards for Bishop Garrigan, yes. 160 for Woodbine. The way they've done it, like I said, different though. Bishop Garrigan ran 39 plays, Woodbine 22. Now, Tom, there's 2 ways of thinking with this, right? You could say, hey, if you're Woodbine, we've made Bishop Garrigan sustain drives. Are they going to be able to do that the whole game? Also, if you're Bishop Garrigan, though, you're saying, hey, the way we have, moved the ball, can that wear Woodbine down? Right.
Stay the course. It's something that he had talked about last week, and in visiting with Coach this week, they're going to keep pounding the rock. He was essential with that last week. It's the same thing here again. I look with Furch. He's got 19 rushes for 66 yards. I got to keep getting him the ball and keep feeding him, but just because you got that extra blocker that's up there.
Halftime winding down here in Cedar Falls. Second half coming up here in just a moment. 20-14 Woodbine leading Bishop Garrigan. Second half on the way next.
Ever wonder what today's workforce looks like and how to prepare the next generation? Your local public media station and American Graduate Jobs Explained are here to break it all down on the most popular social media platforms. Real people, real jobs, from trades and healthcare to hospitality, tech, and more. Explore local opportunities for a brighter and more profitable tomorrow.
I'm talking high-paying, interesting jobs just waiting for you.
American Graduate Jobs Explained. Visit jobsexplained.org to learn more.
We're Iowa PBS. We cover Iowa and the world. We're market to market, an Iowa Press. We're high school sports. We're science. We're adventure. We're drama and mystery. We're the arts. And we're Iowa's storyteller. We're lifelong learners. We're family first. We're educational. We're trusted. We're valued. We're essential. Your support makes all of this happen. Give today at iowapbs.org/donate.
Thanks.
Welcome back to Cedar Falls, 8-player state championship action between Woodbine and Bishop Garrigan, 20-14. Woodbine leading this, and they will get the football to start the second half. Trevor Mater, Tom Peterson with you here today on Iowa PBS. First of 7 state championship games throughout the next 2 days. And after 24 minutes, we're ready to begin the second half. Ethan Marceau will kick it away, kind of a line drive kick, scramble forward, and Woodbine able to get on it at around the 32-yard line. And Coach Marty Watley being aggressive there on that kick, maybe trying to snag a possession, but Woodbine's offense will go to work. And Tom, interested to see how they attack this opening drive. You know, Landon Bloom, their star receiver, Division I prospect, held in check in the first half. Just 3 catches for 22 yards.
Yeah, and I'd said this already in the first half. I do look for them to get him the ball a little bit more, especially out in space. And as you can see, he's in man-to-man coverage.
It was a very clean first half. No turnovers, just 1 penalty on a kickoff out of bounds. On first down, Micah Moore spools forward to the 36-yard line. The first down, always kind of the theme setter, tone setter for the drive, and Woodbine's got a 2nd down and 6 coming up after the run by Micah Morris.
Yeah, and Morris, you know, in the first half had 10 carries for 46 yards. That's a darn good first half, and, you know, they can continue to mix things up, which, you know, it's just kind of keeping Bishop a little bit on their heels.
That was the 11th carry of the day for Morris. 50 yards, 2 touchdowns to his name so far. 2nd down and 6 coming up for Woodbine now from their 36-yard line. Pryor wanting to pass to Bloom, makes the catch, hit the turf though as he made the catch. So it looks like he's going to be just a bit shy of the first down, and now a very, very important 3rd down coming up here early in the second half.
You know, you got to like where you're at in this situation, because I feel you're in 2-down territory, and if they want to, they could try a big play deep, because you could always come back, you know, and feel pretty confident about getting a first down.
Woodbine 2 of 3 on 3rd down today. We'll go out of a pistol. Pryor will hand off Moores. Moores, I think, got stood up shy of the first down. It's going to depend on the spot, but it's going to be very close. And Tom, I know we've talked about this a lot leading up to, not just today, but every time we've done a football game together. Teams nowadays don't line up under center a lot, as we've got an official's timeout for a measurement. You see a lot of teams now, they go out of the shotgun, they go out of the pistol, and sometimes on those short yardage situations, that obviously is not ideal.
No, and I'm kind of a little bit more old school. You know, I feel a little bit more comfortable if you're under center, because you're not, number one, handing the ball off 5 and 6 yards deep, you know, versus, you know, you're getting the ball right at the line of scrimmage.
See today's officiating crew. Had a relatively clean game so far, and now survey says first down Woodbine, and they'll move the chains. And that is a big 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, it's just going to keep the chains moving. And like I'm going to keep saying it, Trevor. I foresee them getting Bloom a little bit more involved.
So Woodbine gets just enough on 3rd down. And now we'll keep this drive going with the 1st and 10 of the Garrigan 38-yard line. Pryor wanting to throw. Pryor downfield, going to Bloom. He hauls it in. It is into the end zone. Touchdown, Woodbine, but there is a flag. So we'll have to check the marker. Right now, the flag is at the 16-yard line, and this is a big call coming up. The officials conversing. Brody Pryor hit Landon Bloom for what looked to be a long touchdown, but a flag comes in on that play. A lot of anxious people on both sides right now, I'd say, awaiting the penalty, but I think it's going to be on Garrian.
We have holding, defense, number 9. Touchdown is good. That penalty will be accepted on the kickoff.
And there you hear it, penalty on Garrigan. The touchdown stands. 23rd touchdown catch of the year for Landon Bloom, the state's leader, on a 42-yard toss from Brody Pryor. And just the start that the Tigers wanted, as you'll see the replay here. That was not an easy throw, not an easy catch. But they connect as they have throughout the last 3 years, and it's 26-14 in favor of Woodbine now. Pryor on the 2-point try, kind of rush throw. Brenner Sullivan open, makes the catch. And it's an 8-point possession for the Tigers, 28-14. And Tom, that was exactly what they needed in many ways. 1, go down the field and score. 2, get Landon Bloom involved.
Yeah, and what a great route once again, and it's something I have kind of been seeing. I feel bad, for Bishop as far as the defensive back. That's really hard for Michael Joyce to be able to cover him one-on-one, and he had, like I said, a quick double move, and he's done that 3 or 4 times this game, but that's a hard, it's just hard to guard that. But like you said, a big play.
See Brody Pryor on your screen if you're watching at home. He did take a nice shot at the end of that 2-point try, but to the sideline, get a drink of water after the touchdown connection from him to Landon Bloom. And now Woodbine will kick it away. Up by 2 scores here early in the 3rd quarter of this 8-player state championship game.
Big possession here for Bishop Garrigan for sure.
And of course, with that holding penalty on the touchdown, the kickoff will be marched up. Woodbine's going to be able to kick it from the 40-yard line. Bishop Garrigan will start their 2nd possession.
In this situation, I would definitely be prepared for some type of an onside kick just in case, because you're not going to give them great field position either way.
So Aiden Kanan will kick it away. To get here, Woodbine, their postseason path featured wins over Exira, Elkhorn, Kimballton, Southeast Warren, and Fremont Mills, and they beat Gladbrook Rhinebeck in a state semifinal last week. Bishop Garrigan got here, quarterfinal win over Don Bosco. Beat Ottoman in a semifinal last week. This kick will be pushed into the end zone for a touchback. And now Garrigan will start this next drive on their own 15. And Tom, we saw in that final drive of the half, Garrigan moved the ball well. I think it was 16 plays, 77 yards.
I look for them to come out and kind of do the same stuff. They did mix it up quite a bit in that last one. So, just keep doing what you've been doing. Run the football with Furch.
You see the path to today for both of these teams. You mentioned Bishop Garrigan and Ottoman in one semifinal, Woodbine, Gladbrook, Rhinebeck in the other. Very, very competitive 8-player field this year. First and 10 for Garrigan from the 15. Here's a screen right side, making the catch and then cutting up field for a couple of yards is Michael Joyce. And it'll be 2nd down coming up for Garrigan. And Tom, we've seen, not to sound like a broken record, but 1st down has not been a great down for Garrigan, and that doesn't help the cause there.
No, and that was just kind of a 3 receivers lined up in a row. A dangerous throw because he did throw it backwards, and Friend read that perfectly. They're very fortunate he didn't pick that off and take it in for 6.
2nd and 8 now coming up for Bishop Garrigan. Big drive. They'll give to Marceau up to the 22-yard line. A gain of 5. Ethan Marceau, standout running back and linebacker. Talked to Coach Marty Wadley this week and asked him if Marceau's got aspirations to play college football, and said he's going to go to lineman school.
Yep. Good for him.
Very, very talented athlete for the Golden Bears. 3rd and 3 coming up. They'll run it with Furch. I don't think he quite got it. Brenner Sullivan was there to tackle him low. And a very, very interesting decision coming up for Bishop Garrigan on this 4th and short.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about those linebackers from Woodbine. He's coming from this left-hand side, shoots a gap as they are slanting up front. That's just a heck of a play to keep him behind, obviously in a 4th and 1, a little bit longer than 1 situation.
Brenner Sullivan makes the tackle. Tom, if I were to ask you Brenner Sullivan's winner sport, what would be your guess?
Wrestling.
He is a state qualifying wrestler. 4th and 1 now for Bishop Garrigan. Early on in the 3rd quarter, big play here for the Golden Bears. Furch running right side into the pile and squirms through the seam for a 1st down. And he'll keep the drive going. Bishop Garrigan has had some success on 4th downs today, as you'll see on the replay. Furch able to find the seam and get enough for the 1st down.
And that's one of the few times they went not to the strong side so much.
Whistle and a flag, one of our first penalties of the day. A relatively clean 1st half. The only penalty in the 1st half was that kickoff out of bounds.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
The false start will back them up 5 yards. And, Tom, this is a Garrigan offense at 1st and long, not necessarily their friend.
No, because it just puts them in an awkward situation, but still no reason to panic. You've got 15 yards. Playbook is wide open. I would keep feeding, either the quarterback or the running back.
So on 1st and long, their 38th rush attempt of the day is a handoff to Ethan Marceau, right side. Gets back what they lost on the penalty, and then a little bit more. They average about 38 rushes a game, and they've already met that mark on that run by Marceau.
2 big guys out in front right there on that play, paving the way for Marceau.
So now a 2nd down coming up for Garrigan, 2nd and 6. They will feed Marceau again. Marceau bowling forward. Will pick up a couple, make it 3rd and short. Marceau gets the ball a lot, not a big play threat, so to speak. His longest run today is 9 yards. But anytime he gets the ball in his hands, you can count on him moving forward. 3rd and 4 coming up for Bishop Garrigan. They will give it to Marceau. Marceau into the 2nd level. Moves the chain. Say it ain't so. Ethan Marceau moves the chains for a 1st down.
Yeah, just a great job there with the guys up front. And, it's something we talked about, time of possession and the number of plays. Will it wear and tear down on Woodbine a little bit? You see that they're subbing.
Down to the Woodbine 35-yard line. They will hand off C.J. McGregor left side. McGregor had a rushing touchdown earlier. Gets about 4 yards before being upended. No 2nd manageable coming up for this Garrigan offense right around the 30-yard line with 7:50 to go here in the 3rd quarter. We talked about how that drive at the end of the half was a big one. This is maybe even bigger.
Absolutely. You got to come away with points, and I really like what they're doing. Just pounding the ball. Just keep pounding the ball.
On 2nd down, McGregor gets the carry. We'll make this a 3rd and short. And Tom, contrasting styles so far today, and Woodbine has been able to move the ball kind of in big plays and big big gains. Garrigan, I don't know if 3 yards in a cloud of dust is the right word, but they're a lot more methodical or meticulous.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're going to keep doing it. Like you had said before, they have well over 40 rushes already.
This will be the 9th play of the drive for Garrigan, and a drive that's taken over 5 minutes. Furch keeps it, and he gets stood up. Joe Friend not making any friends on the Garrigan side with that tackle for loss. You'll see the replay here in a moment. He has played a very, very good game defensively and does a good job of reading that and tackling Furch for the tackle for loss.
Yeah, and we talked about the receivers having to block on the outside, and right there was just one of those examples. Kind of just fell asleep a little bit, allowing for Joe Friend to come in and make a play.
4th and 6 for Bishop Garrigan from the 31-yard line. Here on their first drive of the 2nd half as they're down 2 scores. They are 3 for 4 on 4th down today. 3 receivers to the right. Furch back to pass. Over the middle. It is caught and enough for a 1st down. Michael Joyce makes the catch, and a big 4th down conversion by the Golden Bears keeps that drive going.
Yeah, out route with the guy inside, and you could see what he did. He just kind of found a little area in the zone, sat right there. Great read by the quarterback.
1st and 10 now for Garrigan. Furch running left side and gets wrestled down by Brenner Sullivan. This is a Woodbine defense, one of the top in the state in tackles for loss. Gets another one there, and it's 2nd down.
they're just able to bring other guys in, you know, that are tired. So it just, you see him going off the field right there, Wagner, and they're able to bring somebody else in for him. Next guy in has got to be your mentality.
I'd imagine Tate Furch, one of those guys, get a little tired. 23rd rush for him today. He'll give Ethan Marceau a tote. Marceau bounces it right side. Flag comes in late, though. Generally in the vicinity of holding. We'll see what the official deems, but Garrigan walking it back. And Tom, you know, what's been a relatively clean game, as you get into the second half, time is of the essence. Every drive, every play is amplified.
Number 46, offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
Penalties like that can be big.
Yeah, and that could have a lot to do with fatigue, you know. They've been pounding the ball consistently right there, and I believe they said it was on number 53, Carter Schwab, and he plays a lot of football. He's a physical specimen up there, so now they're really behind in the change, and so they're going to have to open it up here a little bit.
Second penalty of this half for Bishop Garrigan after, like I said, a relatively clean first half. 5:25 to go here in the third quarter. Garrigan trying to cut into this two-score Woodbine lead. Furch out of a shotgun, wanting to throw. Downfield, floats it up. It is incomplete. So trying to go to Michael Joyce. Brody Pryor was in coverage. And now what was second and long becomes a third and long.
He had Dalton Clems right there across the middle down there. He sat in a gap before the safety. You know, it's kind of that one of those things. Got to take what the defense is giving you in that situation.
15th third down of the day for Bishop Garrigan, who has been 50-50 on those 7 of 14 so far. Furch back to pass, pressure coming, looks like a screen, and is caught over the middle by Joyce. He's got room. Joyce gets the first down inside the 20, and hadn't seen a screen all day, I don't think, from the Garrigan side, but they go to one there, and it moves the chains.
No, I think we got 4th and 7, I believe, because, yep. So, you know what?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Silly me.
No, but they did, you can see in the replay here, great job up front, letting the guys go upfield, but this at least makes it a manageable 4th down for sure.
Yeah, I was looking at the initial chain. I might be a rookie at this, never know. 4th down coming up now for Bishop Garrigan, a big 4th down. 4th and 7 from the 17. Furch back to pass over the middle. Actually, go right side. That was into triple coverage, trying to go to Joyce. And the Woodbine defense holds as they knock that one away. And I think that was Pryor that got a hand on it.
Yeah, he's kind of doing a little bit of everything today. That's just a great play.
You'll see on the replay, Furch goes right side, one to go to Michael Joyce. You had Joe Friend in there as well. And a big stop for the Woodbine defense. Give them the football back up 2 scores with 4:23 to go here in the third.
First play coming out, I'm kind of interested to see. I don't know if they take a shot or not, Trevor, but we'll see.
Would you hear?
Yeah, I would. If I had some of these kids, I know for a fact I would. And they're in man-to-man coverage.
So Woodbine trying to capitalize on the turnover on downs. Pryor back to pass. Pass is caught. It's Landon Bloom making the catch, and he'll have enough for the first down. Getting him more involved in the second half here, Tom.
Yeah, to me it was one of the keys at halftime that we had talked about, and he's too good as far as an athlete right now to be able to guard one-on-one, and right now he's just running some great routes, and they're struggling to cover him.
Third catch of the quarter for Bloom. They did actually mark him about a yard further back than I thought. They'll say a yard shy of the first down.
I like what they're doing here with the clock.
Yeah, right now, if you're Woodbine, I mean, there's 15 minutes left in this game. The clock can be your friend. And a whistle and a flag. And we'll have to check the flag, but there's a chance that this second one becomes a 2nd and 6.
Dead ball. False start.
And it will.
Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Second down.
So, Tom, does that change your second down play call here if you're Woodbine?
No, I kind of liked what they were doing right there. They were going to give the ball back to Morse. It's something I think I would come back to, but playbook is wide open, and you can see, we talked about that last week, the amount of kids that they shuffle back in on offense is pretty, it's pretty amazing.
So now 2nd and 6 coming back. By the way, it's the first penalty on Woodbine today. We'll go out of a pistol. 2 receivers to the left. One to the right, and movement up front. I think that's going to be on Garrigan. That's going to wash out that 5-yard false start. And now with 2nd and 1, and then 2nd and 6 is back to a 2nd and 1.
5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
You see Pryor does a good job with the hard count. Gets movement up front by one of the defensive tackles. I believe it was Carson Kramer, the guilty party on that, and now back to a 2nd and 1 for Woodbine at their own 27-yard line. 3:10 to go here in a fast-moving third quarter of SA Players State Championship game. Pryor will feed Moores. Moores, first down, and Moores broke out of an ankle tackle to get a couple extra yards to the 34-yard line.
You talk about some pads popping right there. Joe Fran was pulling, and he had to go against one of the bigger kids from Bishop Garrigan, and he did not slow down. You could hear the pads pop all the way up here. I just feel Woodbine has just been extremely physical today.
13th carry of the day for Micah Moores, who's got 59 yards, and they have been hard-earned yards so far. 2.5 to go here in the quarter. Woodbine trying to grow their lead here late in the third. Pryor will feed Moores again. Moores breaking tackles again, gets a first down to the 31-yard line. You know, Tom, you talk about sometimes running to set up the pass. In a sense here, Woodbine maybe has passed a little bit to set up the run.
Yeah, and once again, you can see he's leading up through the hole. I'm just impressed right now with what Woodbine is doing up front. And once again, shuffling 2 and 3 guys in on offense. The depth is really, really showing here late in the third quarter.
This is a Woodbine offense that's got some beef up front. Jax Pryor, Jacob Cogdo, Connor Murdoch, Matthew Tremmel among those guys that usually pave the way. 1st and 10 for Woodbine. Pryor wanting to throw, scrambling around. Pryor heaves one downfield to Bloom. Bloom hauls it in. Bloom into the end zone. Touchdown, Woodbine. Brody Pryor and Landon Bloom, a little improv like they were in the backyard there in Woodbine.
Yeah, you're just asking a lot out of the defensive back there to be able to cover him. And once again, that was a great double move. He was open earlier, and then they just, like you said, backyard football right there.
Let's see on the replay. I mean, this is, like you said, backyard stuff. Pryor knows he's going to take a shot, heaves one downfield to his friend Landon Bloom, and Bloom does the rest for the touchdown. And Woodbine now up 34-14. Here late in the third quarter, and they'll go for 2 to try to grow their lead. 7th catch of the day for Bloom, 2nd touchdown catch of the day for the state's leader in those. On the 2-point try, Pryor passes over the middle. It is caught. Brenner Sullivan makes his 2nd 2-point catch of the day. And things going Woodbine's way right now, up 36-14 with 1:47 left in the third. Still a lot of football left to be played though, Tom, and if you're Garrigan, it all starts on this next drive, but you've got a long way to go over the next 14 minutes.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something here in this next possession, because if you punt the ball back to them, you know, we've seen already, you know, he tosses that ball up to Bloom. You know, that's just man-to-man. It's like a basketball play. It's 6'5". Trying to cover him, is you're asking a lot out of defensive backs.
Woodbine goes 4 plays, 63 yards on that drive, capped by the long touchdown to Landon Bloom. And Brody Pryor, in his final high school game, has been wheeling and dealing. 10 of 13 for 175 and 3 touchdowns. Will end his time at Woodbine as not just one of their best players in program history, but one of the best passers in the 8-man game that we've seen in quite some time. He's hoping that in the next 14 minutes it'll end with the state championship as well. Aiden Cannon will kick it away. This kick looks like it might be returnable for Joyce at the 1-yard line. Joyce trying to bounce left side. Gets up to the 19-yard line. So now Garrigan will start this next drive on their own 19-yard line. I mentioned, you know, Brody Pryor has been a phenomenal athlete. If you know anything about Woodbine, there's all kinds of Pryors. He's got cousins that have been a big part of their success. His brother Lane actually played football on this field, and this week signed with the Houston Texans. He was a standout athlete of his own. They had another brother, Wyatt, who went on to have a great college career. They've got cousins that have been phenomenal athletes as well. So here's a run by Ethan Marceau on first down. Marceau might go. He gets tripped up. Brenner Sullivan with a nice open field tackle. It looked like Ethan Marceau was about to kick it into the next gear, and that would have been a big spark, but Brenner Sullivan makes the tackle, but Garrigan moving the chains to the 35-yard line. They will hand it off. Marceau gets maybe a yard or two. And, Tom, you're kind of seeing a little bit more urgency from Garrigan.
Yeah, I agree with the up-tempo, but right there, once again, the left end for Bishop Garrigan is just not picking up the right guy. They're just leaving too many guys free to come make plays.
Second down and 8 now for Bishop Garrigan, down to a minute to go here in the third. Furch rolling right, wanting to throw, decides running might be the best play. Furch gets close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot, but a good job by Tate Furch to improvise. So we get under a minute to go here in the third quarter. And they, I believe, mark him just short, so third and short. They'll give Marceau. Marceau, first down. And
Ball's
up to
loose.
the 27-yard line. The ball came out late. Woodbine feels like they have him, but I think the official blew. Well, they're going to say Woodbine ball.
First down, Garrigan.
No, Garrigan first down. Okay, the official was pointing like it was Woodbine ball, but that looked like it was down in plenty of time. And now we've got a Woodbine timeout on the field. And Tom, like I said, you can see the urgency from Bishop Garrigan right now. They know any chance they have of coming back kind of hinges a lot on being able to end this drive in at least 6, preferably 8.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you just try to get some points on this possession here. And you still got the entire quarter to play. You know, you can still do onside kicks, but you got to make sure that you're able to get into the end zone.
So 35 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Garrigan did an awesome job at the end of the half of finishing that frame with points. Trying to do the same here. If you're just tuning in, what a fun game this has been here today. Garrigan took an early 6-0 lead. Woodbine then scored the next 20. Garrigan got a touchdown at the end of the half, as you see the Garrigan conversation going on during the timeout. And then the Woodbine side, I know there were a lot of people that made the trek from Harrison County.
Great crowds out here today from Woodbine, and then obviously Bishop Garrigan. Shout out back home to my students at Exire HK. So I know that they were looking forward to watching.
So Garrigan with 35 seconds to go here in the third quarter has a 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Garrigan yet to throw a pass on this drive, and that'll stay the theme as they give to C.J. McGregor, who gets maybe a yard.
Boy, it sure looked like the ball was bobbling there when they're going through. Really some pads. Woodbine is just coming up and really hitting hard right now.
Under 20 seconds to go in the quarter. I mean, Garrigan not showing a lot of urgency. As I say that, they break the huddle to maybe try to get one play off before the end of the quarter. Furch will run it for a couple of yards, and a third down and manageable coming up for Garrigan on the other side of this quarter. But 3 quarters in the book. Somebody is 12 minutes away from championship glory. Will it be Woodbine or Garrigan? Right now it is 36-14, Woodbine leading. Fourth quarter coming up here in just a few minutes from Cedar Falls here on Iowa PBS.
There's a new way to stay connected and know what's happening with Market to Market. Subscribe to our Market Insider newsletter. One email and a lot of information awaits you. Each Monday, we'll ship you stories from behind the camera with a recap of what we've done and what's coming up next on the show. Go to markettomarket.org and subscribe to Market Insider.
Being an Iowan and thinking about Iowa PBS, I think it really allows me to understand more about my state, and that our state is full of a rich culture, various types of landscapes, and a lot of types of events that are fun places to go visit and experience. I would tell somebody considering becoming a member that it's worth it, because Iowa PBS satisfies my curiosity about learning. It brings Iowa to the world as well.
Local, regional, and national artists take the stage to perform original sets and share their musical journeys on Studio 3 Live. Enjoy weekly performances Fridays at 8:30 online or as a podcast. On to the fourth quarter here in Cedar Falls. Trevor Mater, Tom Peterson with you. Class A player state championship game. Woodbine leading 36-14, but Bishop Garrigan putting together a nice drive that they very, very much need as we get this final frame underway, Tom.
Yes, the sense of urgency thing, that's got to continue for them right now. Time is not on their side, so I look for them. You know, it's a third and manageable, 3rd and 5.5 or 6 yards. You can still do pretty much whatever you want, but I definitely think they got to continue to hurry up.
So Bishop Garrigan, who won a state title in 2023, trying to make it 2 in the last 3 years. Woodbine never won one. Played in a state title game in 1997, back when they were still 11-man. Lost to West Central Maynard in that title game. They are 12 minutes away from championship glory. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Bishop Garrigan to start the fourth quarter. And a whistle and a flag.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, previous spot. Still 3rd down.
And that 3rd and 5 is going to become a 3rd and 10. And, you know, Tom, I know you old football coaches love to talk about penalties. After a clean first half, that's the 5th penalty of the day on Bishop Garrigan.
Just self-inflicted wounds, and it does change what you're doing as far as your play call.
3rd and 10 now for Garrigan. Furch, quarterback run, gets back what they lost in the penalty. It'll make this a 4th and manageable. Coming up for the Golden Bears at around the 21-yard line. It'll be a 4th and about 4. Coming up, and a big play for the Garrigan faithful.
Yeah, this is a must here.
So 4th and 4 for Garrigan from just outside the Woodbine 20. Furch wanting to throw over the middle. It is caught by Weston Rosenmeyer, who's inside the 5. And when they needed a big play, they get it. And now Garrigan on the goal line early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just I like the eye candy in the backfield there. Just kind of got that second level of guys shifting.
Did you see on the replay? That was a really good throw by Furch. Here's a handoff. Ethan Marceau. He will go into the end zone. Touchdown, Bishop Garrigan. And a little bit of life for the Golden Bears here early on in the fourth quarter as they cut this down to a 2-score game at 36-20.
You and I talked quite a bit about this last week, the importance of the 2-point conversions. You got to have some of those play calls right here, ones that maybe you haven't shown, but you got to make sure that you're able to convert on these right now in this situation.
So now they'll go for 2. 1 of 2 on those so far today. And a big one here to try to make this a 14-point game. Furch will hand it off to Marceau, and Marceau lowers his shoulder and gets in for the 2-point try. Makes it 36-22, and Tom, that was a 9-play, 61-yard drive for Garrigan, but kind of a quick striker to win a minute 40. Of course, they had the big conversion on 4th down to get them inside the 5.
Yeah, you got to have some life, and right there, that should help them. You know, you got to gain some confidence from this. You know, I'd like to see the kids down there. They both look tired, I'm not going to lie to you, Trevor, but, you know, you've got to get pumped up right here as a defense and be able to come out and get a stop against Woodbine, because they have just been really dynamic in everything they do.
A lot of nerves. You see some of the fans on both sides, with the exception of the baby that looked like was fighting off nap time. A lot of nervous energy on both sides. And, Tom, you know, if you're Garrigan here on special teams, do you roll the dice and try to steal a possession?
Well, you know, you've got 11-16 to go. I'd probably kick it deep. I don't know if he tried to do an onside on the last one, Trevor. It kind of looked like it went off the side of his foot. But there's been some weird rotation. But you can see Coach is down there having a meeting with all of the guys. I would definitely look for something, as Woodbine also has their hands team currently up there as far as expecting the onside kick.
So with 11-16 to go, 36-22, Woodbine leading Bishop Garrigan here in this 8-player state championship game. First of 7 games coming your way here on Iowa PBS throughout the next 2 days. By the time it's all said and done, we'll have crowned 7 state champions and wrapped up a fantastic 2025 football season. So Bishop Garrigan to kick it away. Gage Meyer is their kicker. And we'll see how Coach Marty Wadley attacks this kickoff. If they kick it deep or if they try to snag a possession, they will short kick it. And Cal Pryor hops on it, and Woodbine will take over at their own 33-ish yard line. And now, Tom, here's the question for Woodbine. You've hung your hat on the big play so far today. Is that what you keep going to, or do you try to run the ball and burn some clock?
Well, I'll tell you what, for myself, you know, if they're going to continue to play man-to-man coverage, I'm going to continue to go at it, because a lot of the drives that Bishop has been having have been, you know, those methodical drives. They're taking 4, 5, 6 minutes off the clock. So you never know, but like I said, he's out here by himself on an island.
1st and 10 for Woodbine. They'll start this drive on their own 34-yard line. There's a handoff. Micah Moores. Moores spins off one tackle and keeps the legs moving for a nice gain on 1st down. If you can pick up 6 or 7 yards on 1st down, that'll help the cause.
Especially with Micah Moores, you know, he just runs extremely hard. Just been very impressed with Woodbine as an entire group today.
2nd down and 5 now coming up for Woodbine from the 39-yard line. Bishop Garrigan does have all 3 timeouts as we get into the early stages of this 4th quarter, but they'll need to stop at least one, if not multiple. Handoff Moore, 16th carry for him today. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and then maybe a little bit more. That was Carter McGregor that made the tackle. And now a big 3rd down coming up for this Garrigan defense as they try to get off the field.
Great play there with him, just kind of shooting that gap. Very impressed with the defensive end, because that's a read play for Pryor there. He stayed disciplined, made sure that his shoulders were where they were supposed to be.
3rd and 3 for Woodbine from midfield. Just over 10 minutes to go in this game. Pryor wanting to pass, incomplete. Short hopped it to Brenner Sullivan. And it's a 4th and short coming up for Woodbine. And Tom Moore, if you're Coach Dustin Crook, what do you do here?
Boy, you know, this is one maybe you look at some of your kids and see how they, maybe how the body language is. I mean, one of your quarterback, especially Pryor, comes over and says, let's go for it. You know, the kids they've been playing well all day. So it looks to me like they're going to go for it.
You could have said it, Tom. Decisions like this are why you're glad to be up here today and not down there.
That is exactly correct.
Woodbine's going to go for it. 4th and 3 from midfield, but we've got a timeout.
Timeout. Woodbine.
Woodbine going to take the timeout. Their 2nd of the half. So 2nd timeout of the half for Woodbine. Up 2 scores with a big 4th and 3 on the way. Rising from the ashes for a 2nd consecutive season, it's college wrestling. The heart of the mat beats in the great state of Iowa. Catch the grit, the glory, and the champions of tomorrow, featuring the Hawkeye women, Cyclone men, NAIA Division II and Division III, as well as some doubleheaders. Join us as college wrestling coverage returns again this December on Iowa PBS.
That time of year again.
Very much that time of year. A lot of really good programs from multiple levels, of course, in the States. And you see the college wrestling schedule on Iowa PBS. Grandview in Iowa to women's meets here in early December. Missouri Valley and Grandview in January. Of course, the Grandview program, the cream of the crop there in the NAIA world over the better part of the last decade. They have a coaching change, but I'd imagine they're going to keep on with the success. And then, of course, one of the highlights, South Dakota State dueling with Iowa State at Humboldt there in January. Here we go on this 4th down and 3 for Woodbine. Trying to keep this drive going. Pryor rolling right. Pryor throws across his body. It's intercepted. Ethan Marceau comes up with the pick. And a big stand for the Garrigan defense. They had a man open over the middle, but Marceau just made a great play, as you'll see. And it's a turnover, and Garrigan with life here early in the 4th quarter.
It does look like he short arms it just a little bit, Trevor. But what a great play there. Very athletic play.
2nd interception of the year for Marceau. Yeah, Pryor rolling right. Brenner Sullivan had leaked free. But Marceau gets one of the big paws on it and comes up with the pick. And now you see Brody Pryor going, oh, man.
Yeah. But you got to move on. Next play.
So Garrigan now takes over. Furch back to pass. Looking for maybe a quick strike. Furch instead will tuck it and run. Furch slides down. We'll see where they spot the slide, but the initial spot will give him a 1st down. inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. That's the first turnover we've had on either side, by the way, today, Tom.
Yeah, it's been very well played all the way through. I still like them playing up tempo.
1st and 10 now for Garrigan. They will keep it. Furch lunges forward for a couple of yards. It'll make it a second and very manageable coming up. So the Ethan Marceau interception and return to Scott Garrigan inside the 20 with 9:20 to go as they try to claw out of this deficit. Furch, quarterback run off the right side. He's just shy of the first down. And a 3rd and short coming up.
You know, it almost seems like they've just been leaning on them all day long. I'm not sure, you know, how many rushing plays that is, but the bigs up front are getting the job done right now. Big plays coming up right here.
3rd and 2 now coming up for Garrigan. And they will give to Marceau. And it looks like he's about a yard shy. And a 4th and short coming up now for Garrigan at the 10-yard line. And I think to call this a big play would be the understatement of the year.
I would go as soon as you can.
Woodbine kind of late bringing men on the field. And now Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley, I think, saw something he didn't like, and he's going to call a timeout. Their first of the half. 2 remaining for him, and you can see a very, very animated Coach Wadley wanted to get that timeout.
Yeah, you know, but Woodbine, they only had 7 guys out there, right, you know, on that last play. So, but obviously in this situation, being the biggest play of the game, you want to make sure that you're doing something correct because this is just a huge first down.
And so, you know, Bishop Garrigan timeout here early in the 4th quarter. And Tom, you know as well as anybody in these small school scene, you know, student athletes are asked to wear a lot of different hats. And how about some of the Garrigan players this past weekend? They were a member of the Bishop Garrigan musical, The Addams Family. You see Matt Besh, Tate Furch, and Caden Graves among them. Mysterious and spooky and sometimes kind of kooky or whatever it is.
That's awesome.
Very busy this time of year.
Yeah, and you know, that was the day after the state semifinal,
Yes.
or that weekend after the state semifinal game. So that's just awesome to see kids getting involved in as many activities as you possibly can. For all of you out there, please try to get involved in as much stuff as you can.
See if Garrigan draws up something kooky here on 4th down, or if they just give the ball to Ethan Marceau or Tate Furch. 4th and 1 from the 10 for the Golden Bears. Down 2 scores with 8:24 to go in this A-Player State Championship game. High formation for Garrigan. Furch will hand it off Marceau. Marceau's got the first down easily. And he'll give them a goal-to-go situation with 8 minutes to go. The clock will continue to run, but Garrigan moves the chains.
Something a little different there. They brought on Carson Kramer right now back in on offense. Normally he's just a defensive player, so getting some bigger guys up front.
1st and goal from the 7. Furch, quarterback run, his 30th run of the day, will be near the goal line. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Garrigan. Game on here in Cedar Falls as Tate Furch finds the end zone to get it down to a 1-score game.
Yeah, you know, as soon as I say that, they bring him in. And when in doubt, follow the big guy here, as you're going to see on the replay. They go right behind him. Great block also by the by the tailback. And Trevor, we got ourselves a game.
So back-to-back touchdowns by Garrigan. Of course, sandwiched in there was the Ethan Marceau interception that set this up.
Touchdown,
and now all the momentum has gone Garrigan's way. Down by 8, a chance to get it down to 6. So on the 2-point try, Furch back to pass. Furch trying to run now, ran into his own guy, bounces right side, then will throw, and it's caught. Weston Rosenmeyer makes the catch. There is a flag down, though. So we'll have to check the penalty. Tate Furch did a good job improvising. Maybe some of those Addams Family skills showing off there with the improv. But we'll have to see what the marker is and if that's
I'm
on
not sure,
Woodbine or
did they have a legal
Garrigan.
man downfield, or?
An eligible man downfield.
That's the call. So Tom,
5 yards, 3 play the down.
here's one train of thought here. This is a Bishop Garrigan team. They've gone for 2 all day today, but they have kicked 37 extra points this year. Do you kick the extra point and know that, okay, next time we have options, we can play for the tie or we can play for the win?
It wouldn't be a bad idea for sure, because, you know, I still say they're just not real comfortable in obvious passing situations. But here we go.
So they are going to line up and go for 2 to try to make it a 6-point game here early in the fourth quarter. They'll go reverse to Joyce. Joyce with a convoy will float it to Furch, who tried to tiptoe but couldn't haul it in. They went to the bag of tricks, and it was almost an awesome play.
I think he thought Landon Bloom was going to tip that one.
And Tom, I don't know that the significance of that penalty can be stated enough, because that backed him up, and I mean, just about everything went right on that play, and Joyce did a good job of floating it over Furch, but Furch couldn't haul it in. And now it's an 8-point game with 7:59 to go.
Pretty impressive with Bishop Garrigan right now. You know, they haven't stopped playing. Great defensive play, obviously, with the interception from Ethan Marceau, just to get them back in a situation to make this back to a 1-score game. So, like I said, we got ourselves a football game, but here you go with the defense. Going to have to make plays again.
Tom, put on the coaching cap. I know you've been in a tight state championship game before. If you're Woodbine, everything had gone your way for the better part of 3 quarters. Now, I wouldn't say your back's against the wall, but momentum has shifted. What's the message if you're Coach Dustin Crook to your team? Hey,
just pull them aside and keep doing what you're doing. Let's just be us, is what I would be telling our kids. You know, nothing to panic about. You've got athletes, and I look for them to try to get Landon Bloom back involved in this next drive.
So once down 22, Bishop Garrigan has cut this down to an 8-point deficit with 7:59 to go here in this Class A player state title game. Ethan Marceau will kick it away. And this will be returnable for Woodbine. Dylan Reed fields it at the 3. Reed breaks out of an ankle tackle, and he'll get knocked out of bounds at around the 16-yard line. So that'll be where Woodbine begins their next drive. We're just under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Will Woodbine put together a drive that'll be remembered in Harrison County for years to come, or can Garrigan get a stop and give themselves a chance to have a chance?
You can definitely tell the defense has got a little bit more pep in their step here. Going back with a 3-man front. These guys are excited right now. Crowd's getting into it also.
So Woodbine starting this drive on their own 16-yard line. See how aggressive they are. They'll put Moores in motion out of the backfield. They swing it to him. Moores makes the catch and fights for some yards. That was a play in their semifinal that they ran early and often to success. I think that's the first time they've ran that today, is, you know, Morris leaks out of the backfield.
Yeah, and it's just a hard play to defend, because you've got to have somebody that flows with him, and if you don't, they're going to have numbers to the outside. Great play call on first down.
2nd and 6 now for Woodbine. 7.5 to go in this game. Bishop Garrigan does have 2 timeouts remaining. The Tigers, you know, they break the huddle with about 15 left on the play clock. A work out of a pistol. They will feed Moores. Moores got tripped up, but lunges forward to make this a 3rd and manageable. 3rd and about 3. And Tom, do you go back to the ground game here, or what do you do?
Well, you just made a great point. You know, as a coach, I'm definitely talking to my quarterback, because he can see the play clock down at the opposite side of the end zone. They snap that with 8-9 seconds left. Those are seconds you want them to run off. But, you know, to me, I'm going to Bloom. I am. You know, they've got stopped last time on 3rd and 4th and short. I'm going to my most dynamic player on the outside.
3rd down and short coming up for Woodbine. They try to keep the drive going. Garrigan trying to get off the field. They will give it to Moores, and Moores doesn't get it. Matt Besch makes the tackle for loss. And Garrigan's going to get the football back without 6 minutes to go, as Besch came through unblocked. And a big stop for this Golden Bears defense.
Yeah, that's just...
leave for Blood. Number 9 has to come out and play for Blood.
That's just a great play to put themselves in a position to get the ball back.
So with 6:18 remaining in this 8-player state title game, Garrigan trailed 36-14 late in the 3rd quarter. All of a sudden, they've got a chance to get the ball back. Brody Pryor's the punter for Woodbine. It is worth noting he is also their quarterback, although you'd have to be the gambler of all gamblers to go for it here. And now with what looks to be a false start, that will wipe out any thought of that.
False start, number 83, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And I know that might only be a 5-yard penalty, but Bishop Garrigan didn't have anybody back on that play. Now you have an opportunity to get you're going to have an opportunity to get somebody back to return this, because they're definitely not going for it in this situation.
It was on the left side, Connor Murdoch. There was a little bit of a flinch by one of the defensive linemen, and Murdoch took the bait. Now Pryor to punt it away. Pryor, nice punt. Will roll on the Unidome turf and field it on a hop by Joyce. I don't know that he knew he had a defender chasing him, and he'll get tackled. Cal Pryor made the tackle, and our friend Joe Friend comes up with the tackle as well.
You know, you heard me say this earlier about their linebackers. How about right there on that play? It was both of their linebackers that were down there once again. I just would have had somebody back there for sure. You know, they tried to run someone back late.
So Garrigan will have to go 76 yards and get the 2-point conversion in the next 5 minutes and 37 seconds. High drama here in Cedar Falls in this 8-player state title game, and the drive will start with an Ethan Marceau run for about 3 yards to the 7. And Tom, I mean, if you're Garrigan, we've seen them be able to put, I mean, they had a drive in the first half that was I think 16 plays, 77 yards.
Very similar to where they're at right now.
So a gain of a couple will make it 2nd and 7. See a lot of anxious energy on both sidelines here today. As we get into the final minutes of this one. They will hand off McGregor. McGregor first down and tackled as he got to the second level. Landon Bloom was one of the last defenders to have a shot at him. Bloom makes the tackle, but it's a first down for Bishop Garrigan. Just over 5 minutes to go. It's the 60th rush attempt for the Golden Bears today.
That is absolutely unbelievable.
There's 61, it looks like. And it's a run. McGregor gets another nice carry for about 8 yards.
You know, earlier on, Trevor, those plays when they were wrapping up were going backwards. Right now, currently, Bishop Garrigan, they are falling forward. And once again, tempo.
2nd and short now coming up. 4.5 to go. Furch, handoff McGregor. McGregor didn't get much, if anything. And Tom, how much of this is a case of, Garrigan with just the way they've ran the ball today, wearing Woodbine down?
Well, 61 rushing attempts, up in there. And Woodbine's got another guy, fresh body in there.
3rd and 1 now for Garrigan. They'll hand off Marceau. Marceau does a good job of bouncing off a tackle in the backfield and will move the chains, but that clock continues to tick, 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 tick. We're just north of 4 minutes. We'll see the replay here. Marceau might have actually been off one of his own blockers in the backfield, trudges forward for a couple of yards, and the drive stays alive for Garrigan with a first down, a fresh set of downs. Garrigan, that's their 9th conversion on 3rd down in 19 attempts today. Furch, play action, left side, has a man. Madden Miller makes the catch into Woodbine territory. Miller was one of the unsung heroes in their semifinal. He gets his first catch of the day, and it's a big gain inside Woodbine territory to the 30-yard line. Nice play action by Furch.
Yeah, you're going to see that right there. Just that little play action pass that they have right there. That got the back safety Pryor moving to his right that allowed that gap over the top of the zone.
Now they're at the 30-yard line. Furch will hand it off Marceau. Marceau gets a yard or two. Will make it a 2nd and 8. So we get under 4 minutes to go in this one. Bishop Garrigan trying to win their 2nd title in 3 years, 3rd in program history. Woodbine trying to do something they've never done before, but they are going to have to fend off a Garrigan team trying to stage a fierce comeback.
And once again, Carson Kramer came back into with a 6-man front right here.
2nd and 8 now for Garrigan. Furch running, broke out of a tackle in the backfield, then gets tripped up after a gain of a couple to the 24-yard line, and a 3rd and 4 coming up with just over 3 minutes remaining. 3rd and 4.
I look for the same thing.
20th 3rd down of the day for Garrigan is a keeper by Furch. Furch can't break out of a Cal Pryor tackle in a one-on-one situation, but it looks like Furch is going to have enough for a first down, and he will. And it's now 1st and 10 for Garrigan from the 20 with under 3 minutes to go. Furch will hand off Marceau. Marceau breaks out of a tackle, gets a block on the outside, and it's inside the 10. Ethan Marceau with a gain of 10 is going to have Garrigan with a goal-to-go situation with under 3 minutes to go.
And I'll tell you what, big old 75 Carson Kramer at 6'4", 260, coming around that edge. That is not a person that I would want to take on as far as a lead blocker.
2.5 to go in this one. They will run it. Furch cuts up the middle, inside the 5, breaks out of a tackle, and it's a touchdown, Bishop Garrigan! Tate Furch cuts this down to a 2-point game, and we're a 2-point conversion away from being tied.
What a run right up there, up the middle. What a drive.
Last year, Bishop, as you'll see on the replay, Furch converts the touchdown, and now the important 2-point conversion. Last year, Garrigan lost a semifinal to Remsen St. Mary's on a 2-point conversion. Now they need one to tie it. Furch running left side. He could walk. We're tied.
Wow, what a game.
From 22 down, Bishop Garrigan has rolled back, and it is 36-36 with 2:32 left. Are you not entertained, Tom Peterson?
This has been unbelievable. You know, how many unanswered points is that?
22.
22 unanswered points. And, you know, what's been even more incredible, they're doing no huddle with 99% running plays. I'm not sure how many running plays that is for them. 68 rushing attempts on today. That is absolutely unbelievable.
So now Woodbine with 2:32 left. We'll get the football back, one timeout. You know, Tom, this is kind of eerily similar to their semifinal game. They were up 16 on Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Gladbrook Rhinebeck scored, got a pick 6. All of a sudden they were tied. Early in the 4th, Woodbine just methodically went down the field, able to score with about 3 minutes to go. Now, a little less time than what they had last week, but 2.5 minutes, you need to get a touchdown.
Yeah, and you know, obviously, I still think they need to go back to mixing it up a little bit more with Landon Bloom. Just hasn't really been involved here in the last few possessions.
So Garrigan will kick it away. Woodbine will get the football in a tie game here in Cedar Falls. Boy, I tell you what, the next 6 games on the docket over the next 2 days are going to have a tough time topping this one. And that is a challenge if they want to take that. Ethan Marceau will kick it away. This will be returnable. Dylan Reed fields it at the 5. Reed up to the 25. And Woodbine will have 55 yards to go here in this one. And, you know, Tom, this is not a team that is used to kicking field goals or anything, so you would think this is a drive that's going to have to end in a touchdown.
Yeah, and if I'm Woodbine, I obviously, you know, you got 2:26 on the clock. You don't have to go deep right out of the gates, because if you get a chance to score, do that without much time on the clock.
1st and 10 for the Tigers. Pryor back to pass. Goes almost intercepted. He threw it to Aiden Kanan. I think he wanted to go to Landon Bloom downfield, but he was covered well. And instead he goes to Kanan, and Michael Joyce just about came up with the INT.
And I like the defensive adjustment that Bishop Garrigan has made. They've got one person head up on Landon Bloom with another guy over the top.
2nd and 10 now for Woodbine. This Garrigan side that's in front of us, about 30 minutes ago, they looked in despair, and now they feel like they've got new life. Pryor rolling right. Pryor wanting to throw downfield. Pryor being pressured, throws across his body, incomplete to Brenner Sullivan. Madden Miller was in coverage, and it's now 3rd down. Coming up for Woodbine with 2:15 to go.
And that's great defense there with the spy. Ethan Marston just making sure he's keeping his eye on the quarterback Pryor. That's just a great play there. Puts them in a 3rd and long situation, and if they don't get this, we're looking at a punt situation for sure.
Third down coming up for Woodbine. They are 3 of 6 on those today. 2:15 remaining in a highly entertaining 8-player title game.
I think they're going to have to get a timeout, Trevor.
Well, they only have one left. Prior, they did not get the snap off. They did call the timeout, so the final timeout of the game for Woodbine comes on a third down with 2:15 to go. And Tom, if you're Coach Dustin Crook, what in the world do you do here?
Well, I'm going to spread the field. If you've noticed, they went back to a 2-man rush. So they've got one person on Bloom, and then they got another one over the top that's kind of like a center fielder, if you will. So I'm looking to spread the field out a little bit more. Somebody has got to be open in some of those gaps, and some type of a mesh route I think would be great.
Paul Yeager, the man of many talents, down on the Woodbine sideline. Paul, what's going on?
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's we switched. We were on the Garrigan side when it was 22 down, and it's just the momentum has changed. Right now, there's a lot of, hey, in this timeout right now, what Coach is saying is just stay calm, stay with it. We're fine. It's a lot of that we're fine business. Let's just see. But as Trevor, you were saying, you could just hear the sound. It has gotten a lot louder on your side. That is for certain.
Tom, as a coach, when you're telling your team you're fine, how often are you actually fine?
Well, they're 14 to 18 years old. You're trying to get that inside their head, and you got to believe this is things that you did all summer long, and that's what puts you. And they're senior-oriented for the most part. They've got a lot of seniors that are there, so just trust your guys.
3rd and 10 coming up for Woodbine. If you want drama, this is the place to be this morning. Garrigan trying to get the ball back and a chance for a game-winning drive. Woodbine trying to keep their drive going. Pryor on 3rd down, wanting to throw. Pass is caught. Bloom makes the catch and gets the first down. Looked like pitch and catch on that 3rd down.
Yeah, guess who right there, just kind of on call. Just runs deep out right there over the top, and just a great throw and also great timing.
2:10 to go, and Woodbine keeps their drive alive with that 3rd down conversion. The 37-yard line. Pryor pass caught right side and able to get the first down out of that as well. After fighting for some extra yardage was Brenner Sullivan, and all of a sudden once 3rd and 10 and looking very clunky, Woodbine's got it at the Garrigan 30-yard line with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I've taken my time if I'm them right here. Run the ball once.
Under 2 to go, and that's what they will do with Moores. Moores bouncing right side. Moores gets a block. Moores inside the 20 to the 15-yard line.
They have numbers up there, Trevor, because they're running. They have a 2-man front is all they've got right now in this situation. So they've got numbers, and they have angles.
Good block by Brenner Sullivan out in the open field to allow Moores to get a couple extra yards. By the way, Woodbine has not attempted an extra point or a field goal this year up to this point. Now, I think back to a semifinal game a couple years ago between Bedford and Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Bedford was in the same spot where they hadn't kicked a field goal all year. They did, and they won. Woodbine hoping they can end this with 6. Pryor back to pass. Pass left side. It's caught. Brendan Wagner. Wagner inside the 5. First catch of the day for Brendan Wagner. It's got the Tigers knocking on the doorstep and taking a lead late in this one.
Yeah, just a great throw. Pitch and catch right there. Just a quick hook route on the outside. They've got plenty of time right now, so I wouldn't rush anything.
We've got a timeout on the field, and Tom, this is going to be a 1st and goal from the 2.
Bishop Garrigan.
How are you attacking this? As Garrigan's going to call their final timeout, by the way.
Yeah, I'm probably bringing the house, to be honest with you, because I'm looking for them to run the football here. I don't think either team has a timeout left, and so if you can try to get him in some type of a tackle for loss, at least it puts you in some type of a good situation. They score a touchdown, you have over a minute to try to score on the offensive side.
So Woodbine trying to score and take the lead and give the ball back to a Bishop Garrigan team that, as our expert stat guy Vince Rue tells us, has blown past the state record for rush attempts today.
Wow.
With 68. The previous record was 61. But they're hoping they can get a stop and at least give themselves a chance. And also, Tom, if you're Woodbine, how fast are you moving here? A minute 13 is a lot of time. You don't have any timeouts.
I know this might sound crazy, Trevor, but Do you take a knee to get the clock going?
I wouldn't think so, but also I think if you get stood up on first down, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world if you're Woodbine, as long as you don't go backwards, knowing that you've got 4 plays to get 2 yards and give your team a lead.
And we've seen teams that have actually let other teams score just to try to get the ball back. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those situations. It's hard to, that's why, like you'd said, I'm glad that I'm up here.
So Woodbine has it, 1st and goal inside the 2 with 1:13 to go as they try to take the lead in this 8-player state title game. Pryor taking the snap. He'll give it to Moores. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Woodbine. The Tigers take the lead with just over a minute to go on the rushing touchdown from Micah Morris, his 3rd of the day. And how about the resiliency on that drive from the Tigers?
Wow, you know, a big 3rd down and 10 completion to Bloom that kept the drive alive. You know, just very impressed. Not, you know, just not quitting and going away from what you have done throughout this football game. To come back and score says a lot, but this is huge.
Very, very, very important 2-point try. You get it, and it's an 8-point game, and really you're making Garrigan play for overtime.
Pryor, man down here.
Out of the pistol. Now he'll put Moores on the right side. Now moves him in motion. Pryor wanting to throw to Moores, was going to have to make a heck of a snag, and he overthrew him. So Woodbine does not convert the 2-point, and it's a 6-point game with 1:09 to go. Bishop Garrigan with 1 timeout, it looks like.
Well, I feel if you can get a great kickoff return here, that would be big.
Very much so.
Get him out by the 30 at least.
Woodbine has won the special teams department today with some long punts, and then really Garrigan hasn't been able to bust anything on the kick returns. High drama here in Cedar Falls. Like I said, the next 6 games, it's going to be tough to top.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll try.
This has been outstanding. You know, as coaches, you're just proud as heck of both of your squads right here. For these kids to lay everything out, and 14 to 18 years old, I've said it before, where else would you rather be, you know, than right here in this moment?
All year long, these were the consensus #1 and #2 teams in the Iowa High School Athletic Association state rankings, and they have put on a doozy here today.
And I think those guys that vote got it right this time.
Well, you go back to 2 years ago when Garrigan won a state title. They did so unranked, and they won a lot of close games. This year, it had been all about dominance up to today. Showed a lot of resiliency battling back to tie the game after being down 22, but now they are going to need the drive of their life in the next 1 minute and 9 seconds. Aiden Kanan will kick it away, and he will kick it into the end zone for a touchback. "65 yards to glory for Bishop Garrigan, down 42 to 36. And as I'm sure you heard if you're watching at home, all the nervous and anxious energy from the fine folks from Algona and Woodbine and all the other towns that make up the Woodbine School District. They know they are 1 stop away from their first ever state title. Garrigan knows they are the drive of a lifetime away from their 2nd title in 3 years.
Yeah, and you just don't want to force it right here. You know, you still have over a minute to go.
Furch, quarterback run on first down, had a seam, breaks out of a tackle. Furch, first down and more, and will scoot out of bounds at around the 36. Tom, what'd you see there?
Well, that's all him being instinctive, because that was not the play call, I can promise you. That's just a great read. He caught the ball, and he just takes off. That's supposed to be a pass. As you can see, the lineman stood straight up as far as pass protection.
Gain of 20, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock as well. Just over a minute to go in this one. 3 receivers to the right. Furch run again. Furch bouncing off 1 tackler, then gets wrestled down by Landon Bloom. The clock will continue to run because he did not get a first down. Under a minute to go. Garrigan will pick up the tempo. 2nd down for the Golden Bears to the 38-yard line. 3 receivers left. Furch empty backfield. Back to pass is Furch. Furch standing in the pocket as a man wide open. McGregor! He hauls it in inside the 5! CJ McGregor with the big gain. Wow!
It looked like they just had a couple of guys running some seam routes, and he just broke it off.
CJ McGregor sneaks free. And Garrigan has it on the 5-yard line with 33 seconds to go. And Coach Marty Wadley sprints down the sideline to call their final timeout.
Wow, what a game.
Yeah. We might set the broadcast record for wows today just because it's been that kind of game. Check out this replay here.
Yeah,
kind of a floating ball, and McGregor does a good job of hauling it in as he goes to the turf.
Yeah, and you know, he was open earlier also, and it's kind of underthrown. That's just a great play to come back and get that and make that catch.
So Bishop Garrigan, after setting the state championship game record for rush attempts, airs one out, and it pays off, and now they've got it 1st and goal from the 5. What an emotional roller coaster of a game this has been today.
2-point conversions.
Yep.
You and I have talked about it in all the times that we've been together. We always talk about either kicking an extra point or going for 2. And, you know, obviously they still got to try. They still have a long way to go. 33 seconds left. They got to try to punch this in.
No timeouts for Garrigan either, so anything in the field of play will keep that clock running. 1st and goal from the 5 to decide an 8-player state champion. Will it be Garrigan for the 2nd time in 3 years or Woodbine for the 1st time in program history?
Big 75 is back in again.
Furch out of a shotgun, running back on his left. Furch will run. Furch to the 2, trying to have the pile drive him. He gets stood up about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. The clock will continue to run. Garrigan's going to bring another man onto the field, down to 20 seconds to go. This very well could be the final play. Furch will go under center. He'll end off Marceau. Marceau near the goal line. Haven't seen a signal yet. Still has his a touchdown. Garrigan! Ethan Marceau plows forward for the touchdown, and we're tied. Wow.
You know, hard for us to see from up here if he's able to get that through, you know. Obviously, the officials got a great view from down there, and here we go. 9 seconds to go, 2-point conversion. This is where it's at. If you've got a play that you haven't ran, this is something you try to bring out. The play clock is getting down.
It all comes down to this. Bishop Garrigan trying to take the lead on this 2-point conversion. Furch, quarterback run, left side. He's going to walk in. Touchdown, Garrigan. Tate Furch with a 2-point conversion, and the Golden Bears have stormed all the way back from 22 down to take the lead. And again, wow.
Yeah, you've got a feel for him right now. You know, you've got 9 seconds, I believe, or I think
there's supposed to be 9.
Yeah.
The clock ran. We'll see the replay. I mean, Furch ran it left side. That was very well blocked. There was nobody in the vicinity.
I think that's back-to-back times they've done that for 2-point conversions.
So they will have 9 seconds, so likely going to get one offensive play. I'd imagine if you're Garrigan, you try to kick it in the field of play and make them burn time.
Absolutely. This is one of those squib kicks that you want down the middle, so they got to field it. So they only possibly could have one more play left.
Bishop Garrigan trying to win their 2nd state title in 3 years, down 22 in the 2nd half.
What a great game.
Rallies all the way back to take the lead, their first lead since early in the 1st quarter. And now they are 9 seconds away from championship glory.
At the same time, you know, if you're Woodbine, you've got your athletes out there right now that are deep, asking them to make a play. This is not over by any means.
So Garrigan will kick it away with Ethan Marceau. And yeah, you're kind of in a tough spot because if you ask them to return it, you're going to burn some time, but also you might give them good field position.
Yep.
Marceau, line drive kick, fielded by Woodbine. Woodbine will be tackled to the 22-yard line, and they're going to need a 58-yard play with 4 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'm getting all of my guys back. You know, you're only trying to do one thing. Do not try to intercept the football. You're simply going up to try to spike the ball down.
Months of morning practices, weight lift, film study, and it all comes down to this. One play to decide a state champion. Woodbine needs a miracle. Garrigan needs a stop. Pryor back to pass. Pryor scrambling, right side, trying to buy time. Will heave one downfield. It'll be well short near the sideline. Jump ball. It is incomplete. And you can't say Garrigan without again, for the second time in 3 years, Bishop Garrigan is on top of the 8-player world as they're your state champions in 2025.
What a comeback today, Trevor, by this group of kids. It's a group of guys that did not quit. You can't say enough about either team. It's just, I have chills up here. I feel bad for the Woodbine kids. I really do. Been in that position before, but nothing to hang their hats on, any of these kids.
The highs and lows of a high school football game, right? You see the jubilation on one side and the excitement of the comeback and the heartbreak of Woodbine knowing we were right there. We controlled the game for the better part of 36 minutes, but Garrigan with a comeback that'll be talked about there in the Algona area for years to come as they win their 3rd state title in program history, 2nd under the guidance of head coach Marty Wadley. And a phenomenal season of 8-player football ends with an instant classic of a football game.
One of the things I'm looking at the stats, Trevor, 85 plays for Bishop Garrigan to just 45 for Woodbine. It wears on you, when you're on a defensive side. And to me, that kind of looked like that was part of the difference because they were able to run the football a lot better in the second half with 331 yards rushing. So just what a great football game, and glad I got to experience it.
So Woodbine's season will end at 11-1, and I know it's not the finish they want by any means, but what a year for them, Tom. They end the year in the state title game for just the 2nd time in program history. A lot of young men played great games. I mean, Landon Bloom was incredible, 8 catches for 116 yards, but today is all about the Golden Bears putting the rest of the 8-player field into hibernation with the state title. And they are going to celebrate all the way back north to Algona. And I'd imagine prepare to run it back in 2026.
Yeah, both of these teams are going to be good again next year for sure.
So the celebration continuing on the Garrigan sideline. I know Paul Yeager down in the frenzy, hoping to catch up with Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley, as well as Tate Furch, who has done it all this year. Caps it off with a memorable final drive of that game. Couldn't ask for a better game.
Hey, 36 carries for 157 today. Wow. There's another one, but it's unbelievable.
So the Garrigan celebration will continue long into the rest of the day, and Coach Marty Wadley fired up in the middle of that. See the pomp and circumstances going on now, and Woodbine will be honored with their runner-up trophy.
Staff and Board of Control.
And we'll turn to the PA for the announcements.
2025 season with a record of 11-1 in 10 playoff appearances. Please help us congratulate the student athletes, coaches, and supporters from Woodbine. And it's been 2 years, and then 40 years ago when the first state championship ended up at Bishop Garrigan. They are your 8-player state champion for 2025 with a record of 13-0, 29 playoff appearances, 85-23, and in 2025. Congratulations to Coach Marty Waddle and Bishop Garrigan.
So there you see the celebration on the Garrigan side, and like I said, that is going to continue long into the afternoon and maybe evening as they make the trek back north to Algona. And Paul Yeager is down among the Garrigan celebration.
Tate Furch, 36 of 157. Which were the biggest yards for you in the final?
I don't even know, man. The biggest yards was the team yards in the state championship. It does not matter what the yards were. The score matters. That's what all matters.
Why did you want to lead the charge to get the trophy?
Because I've been working so dang hard, and everybody else has been working so hard. I just wanted to lead. I wanted to lead, man. We did it.
Tell me what these guys mean to you.
They mean the world, man. I couldn't do it without them. I love them, man. everything in me. I just played my last football game, and I wouldn't do it with anybody else, man.
Congratulations, Coach, or Tate. Appreciate it. We'll get Coach now.
Thank you.
That's Tate. We're going to get Coach here in a minute. They got to get their picture. Coach Marty Wood. Hey, you're down 22. What happened?
You know, the kids just, I don't know, Paul, a little bit of luck. Ethan Marshall with a big play there. Our kids and their kids in it, our kids don't give up. Our kids don't quit. We talked the last play through the playoffs, and we talked in the locker room. We talked this morning. These kids are here for a reason. God put them together for a reason. They're here for a reason. And that was evident today. They won a state championship together.
Congratulations, Coach. This one means a lot. Where does this rank in Garrigan history?
It's top of ours. 23 was awesome, but this is top for what I've coached since I've been here.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, let's go back up to you, Trevor. Pretty excited, huh?
Yeah, Coach Wadley always fired up, and rightfully so, after a state championship here today. What a game as Garrigan storms back to beat Woodbine in a 44-42 thriller. Tom Peterson, for any writer that's going to be putting together his story, that's going to be a tough one to put to words. But what a game here today. It's going to be tough to top, but 6 more games coming your way over the next 2 days here on Iowa PBS. Bishop Garrigan, your 8-player state champion. More fun to come from Cedar Falls throughout the day. The Class A title game all the way next. St. Ansgar and MMCRU. Don't go anywhere.
Funding provided by
Banking in Iowa goes beyond transactions. Banks work to help people and small businesses succeed. And Iowa banks are committed to building confident banking relationships. Iowa Banks, your partner through it all.
and by Fareway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fareway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fareway.com.